Good morning, folks, and thanks so much for joining us. You're looking live inside the Westin Lombard. It's been 6 years and change since this very same venue hosted USAPL Raw Masters Nationals, but never a better time to make a triumphant return, rocking on down to day two. Tanner White and Brandis Napier, so glad to be with you. Good morning, and how the heck are you?
Hi, good morning. We are getting ready to get started, and we're very excited for the Masters lifting today.
Yeah, you bet. We have platform 3 and 4 on your screen this morning. Coming to you live once more from the Westin Lombard, Chicagoland area. I'd say it's a little bit quieter than I kind of expected in terms of the traffic coming on in. I couldn't believe it. I had stayed in kind of like the Northwest Indiana area. And I thought, wow, this was far too easy. It was unnerving.
Yes.
But I think the traffic picks up as we go along throughout the evening. Our first couple of sets of masters, that does not refer just to their age category, it refers to their mastery of the barbell. Kamaria Bain on platform 3 on the left of your screen. Laverne Gray, a Masters 5 competitor at the age of 82, 105 and 35 kgs on the bar. Let's get squats off and running. Laverne Gray with the slower descent and then the slowest ascent, but I think that is entirely, purposeful.
Yes, it looked very intentional. It looked like she was just controlling her movement pattern, make sure she got everything she needed to, which 2-to-1, good lift.
We'll talk about a veteran too, to look up at those lights. And do you really see a benefit to lifters going to ask, when you get a single red anywhere, going to ask those referees, hey, exactly what did you see? What did you call?
So as a lifter myself, I don't want to know.
Really?
I think as a coach, I want to know, because if there is something easy for my athlete to fix, maybe it's their knees were unlocked, or the ref saw a little bit of up-down movement, whatever that is, might be an easy fix for the athlete. But if it's depth on one side, I'm probably not going to say anything.
And the good news is once you get just the one red, you still know it's going to pass.
Yep.
That's always good news. 82.5 kg all the way up to 100 plus today in our women's Masters competitors. Here for day 2, Kelly Tisdale on platform 4. Just going to smack a solid opener. And then Amelia Ferries on your left of screen at 125.
Also a slower squatter.
And some just have that in them, right? They're just simply built to be, or their technique kind of just, it makes them feel most natural squatting a little slower, right?
Yep. Sometimes that weight can feel really heavy, so if you feel like you're more in control of it, it's easier to power back through the squat, but it's totally dependent on the lifter.
I'll be really interested to ask you going along, my apologies. No. I'll be really interested to ask you going along your own cues that you like coaching-wise. I think that everybody cues things differently, oftentimes to solve the exact same kind of issues or inefficiencies of a lift. And I bet that we're going to have plenty of time to do it throughout the day. 9:04 a.m. rocking through these first squats, the very first flight of the day for the platform. Don't you worry. We got another one coming at you. And then a whole nother session this afternoon with men's competitors.
Yes, it's going to be a busy weekend. The whole weekend is busy.
And you started on Tuesday. Did you get in on Tuesday as well?
I did not. So I actually flew in this morning. Worked through yesterday at my full-time job. Flew in this morning. And am now here for the rest of the weekend. So
Julie Alec on a 130 opener. You progress down throughout the flight in order of lightest to heaviest weight lifted, and then you go back up to the top and do the whole thing over again. Michelle Chapman on a platform 4, 110 kg. These are Masters 1s, the ages of 40 to 49 years of age. Michelle feeling for depth. You see a little bit of unevenness on her grip. Am I imagining that?
No, I also saw it a little bit. She also had both of her uprights in on the rack. So it's a very, very tight squat. So interested to see kind of what goes on there. See if we stay nice and tight. If that crooked was purposeful.
Sure.
Some people might have more range of motion on one side versus the other.
Jenna Menschhofer on a 132.5. The dreaded knee valgus. You know what I mean? I laugh so often when I say that, and it's like this scary boogeyman.
Yes.
It's a tremendously scary concept, and yet in so many, it has not only no, injury prediction risk to it, but it's also just a more natural pattern. People tell them to go which way your knees want to go. What do you think about it?
So I'm a doctor of physical therapy as well.
Right on.
Yes. So this is actually a huge thing in the strength world, sports world, is this knee valgus. Totally okay to do in a controlled manner. What we don't want to see is if that's uncontrolled, if we're coming all the way in, the foot is then starting to roll in. We're seeing a lot of movement at the foot. Typically, though, those adductors are, when we're in the depth of a squat, they are hip extensors. So as our hips are coming up, we're extending our hips. Our knees are going to come in because the adductors are active.
Sure.
That is a normal movement pattern. We just don't want it to be the only thing happening or uncontrolled.
I'm so glad that I can get into the really nerdy side already of anatomy and physiology. I mean, I'm itching with the anticipation. Maria Oakton on a 140. It just gets heavier from here. Over on platform 4, Jennifer Stimson as well. You got just about all white lights flying. This is a great start for the day.
Yes, it is. And we are actually already over 300 pounds on platform 3.
Yeah, that 140, even 137 and a half is when you make that jump over, right?
Yep.
Does everybody know those kind of little mental barriers of, 182 and a half would be over 400, right? 227 and a half over 500. I mean, we geek out about it because it's tough to not find some obsession over numbers when you've been doing it long enough.
Yes.
Especially on a national stage like this. Emily Vanderhei, good morning on a 150 kgs. Folks, wake up and appreciate the masters demonstrating their mastery on the barbell. And oh my goodness, that's scalded too for Emily. Jessica Standerwick, 117 and a half.
I'm absolutely loving the hair matching the singlet. The A7 singlet at that.
Yeah, hey, presented by A7 all day long. You'll hear plenty about it. You'll see it up on your screen. You'll probably see plenty of our spotters and loaders. You yourself, you got an A7 platform crew shirt on. I mean, I'm jealous. I might have to see if we can work something out with somebody.
Yes.
Just to match Suzette Escobar in the all pink and black everything. The starter kit for SBD. It's a 155 opener. Cash.
Yeah, she made it look easy. It's exactly how you want an opening squat to look.
What do you do on second attempts for your competitors and for yourself, right? Do you feel out, okay, just bar speed of the first? Do you say, did it feel heavy on my back? How do you measure your second based on your first?
So a lot of it, I think, does go off bar speed. The thing you also have to take into account is a lot of times these opening attempt squats are very intimidating, right? You're walking out on a platform. You've got lights. You've got refs. You've got a jury table. You've got spotters and loaders. You've got people in the crowd. There's music you're not used to.
You bet.
So it's a big sensory experience. So sometimes you might, get really, really amped up, and it might not move exactly how you want. You hit the hole a little funky. You fall forward a little bit just because you're like too amped up. So I do at that point like to ask my athlete or myself, did I misgroove it, or was that actually like maybe I'm not as strong as I thought I was on the day? And then do I take the conservative jump, or do I trust my legs? Do I trust myself and know that on that second attempt I'm going to come out and squat like I always do in the gym? Typically it's answer number 2.
Sure.
But always a good thing to keep in mind.
We're already at the bottom of Flight A over on Platform 3. You don't want to talk about a breakneck pace. I mean, to think, you get 3 attempts and then you change the thing over and you got 10 minutes. This might be, I don't want to get way ahead of myself, but it might be on a breakneck pace today here on Platform 1. April Gray at the very bottom of the flight. That means you got the heaviest opening squat, 172.5 kg in the neighborhood of 380 pounds. Well, I'm convinced.
Yes. I think there's a reason she's wearing that USA A7 singlet.
You think that's earned?
I do.
Not
the way that moved, I think she earned that one.
Emily Vida on a 125. Just a couple lifters behind on Platform 4. You got 3 more, as that will be 2 reds. Looking like both on depth for Emily there. So tell me, just with Socratic method, what happens when you have an unsuccessful attempt on your opener?
So a lot of things, right? You could go up. You could go to your planned second.
Yep.
You could repeat. At a national level meet, I'm probably telling my athlete to repeat.
Retake it.
Yes.
Yep.
Repeat what you've done. Let's hit depth. Let's get confident. Let's get some momentum going, because the last thing you want to do is go up on a second attempt on a missed first attempt, right? You miss it on depth,
Yep.
you go up on your second one, you try to bury it a little deeper, and now you lose it on strength because you're not used to that position. You don't want to go into that third attempt with 2 missed attempts. Let's build some momentum. Let's get ourselves going. We can always take that bigger jump to the third. But if we miss it on a second, it's hard to come back from.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got to have a successful lift out of each discipline to post a total. And nobody wants to make, for some, a very, very long trip.
Yes.
For some, just absolutely nightmarish logistical trip. And then walk away without a total on that national stage.
Yes.
Just about everybody posted a number so far through the very first squats. The first squat attempts for each of these flight A's. Nearly all good news. Yamuna Manan is going to retake, however, go up by a 5 jump.
Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, right? Quantities of jump. We usually think 5 in squat is manageable.
Yep.
5 on your bench, often a little bit more. And then deadlift, you see on average the biggest jumps. Jennifer Rosario, 142.5. The second heaviest opener out of everybody on platform 4. And I noticed with a lot of competitors here out of the 90 kg class, they're far below the weight cap for that 90 class. You have Emily Vidal, the only one at about 89 kg, but many several kilos under. What do you do on weight class, right, if you are walking around near the cap for your class or you have some wiggle room?
I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that these are a lot of masters lifters versus the open lifters. Masters lifters, a lot of these people are just lifting for the love of lifting, right? We're out here to set our own PRs. We're out here to do the best for ourselves. So I would, a lot of those lifters, I do recommend just compete at your body weight. Train at your body weight, compete at your body weight. Don't throw in that extra factor of having to cut weight, especially if you're traveling.
Sure.
A lot of these lifters probably have very busy lives. To add one more thing into their training is very cumbersome. So my guess is that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend that same thing.
Laverne Gray is going to turn it over back to the top. It was a really nice, convincing opener for Leanne Delcourt on the right of screen. And they're now on to second attempts on platform 4 on the right-hand side. Laverne is going to take a competition PR here of 2.5 kg already on her second. You have one further squat that will be receiving 2 red lights from Julie Alec. No good on the 137.5. Taylor Beebe up next on your left side. And you got one of those situations coming up after Taylor where Jenna Menschhofer will take the exact same weight. We get to tell you about, I think, everybody's favorite thing, the most exciting thing in all of powerlifting, lot numbers.
Yes.
Go ahead, take it away.
So lot numbers are randomly assigned to each one of these lifters. It is the order that they weigh in at. And then it is also, if there is 2 lifters that have the exact same load on the bar, the lifter with the lowered lot number goes first. Getting into deadlifts, when we have the ability to change our final attempt, lot number can actually play a huge factor in that. Most likely not going to see it here today. It's usually something you're seeing more at like the world's level where people are trying to like jockey for first place in the world.
Yeah.
We might see it, and if we do, we'll definitely draw it to your attention. But lot number can play a lot into what lifters are doing.
All right, we got a blue card coming from the right of Laverne Gray's second squat there. Your best guess on that squat and that blue card coming in?
So typically blue is because of a soft lockout. In the squat, we're going to see that as the knees not being fully extended. The other thing it can be is up-down movement on the bar.
Yeah.
I didn't see any up-down movement, so my guess is that knees were just a little bit unlocked either at the start or at the end. But we'll definitely have to pay close attention to that for her third attempt.
Yep, and I expect probably that she'll retake because that is a competition PR on the bar for her.
Yeah.
Vicky Thrasher, a 110. It's another 5 kg jump. And then the dreaded pause squat.
Yeah.
It works. But hey, you feel depth that way if you're sitting there for a second or two. Maria Oakton on a 150. Very, very speedy seconds. And out of these 90s, like you said, we're well beyond 300 pounds when you get in the middle of the flight.
Yes. That was a 10-kilo jump from her first to her second, too. I think that's one of the larger jumps we've seen yet, which is a good indicator that she's probably feeling pretty good.
Yeah. And we've, of course, already seen much smaller jumps and retakes. And so there's going to be the entire spectrum throughout the day of this is the best day of my life. And frankly, sometimes this is the worst day of my life.
Yep.
Funny how those should all, coincide. I'm just still stunned by the size of the operation here. Full disclosure, my first nationals event that I've ever been part of.
Yeah, it's busy. There's lots of people moving and grooving, from athletes to refs to spotters and loaders to support staff to media team to live stream production team to people. A7 is here selling shirts and equipment, and there's other brands outside doing the same. It's busy. There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle.
Yeah, no doubt. I do think some of the businessmen in the business, I'm, guilty because, of course, they bring us in here, but the entire Barbell Productions crew, the way that they turn around people's hype videos and photos and meet recap footage, unreal. Like, you can compete in the morning, and by the time that next session in front of your, behind you is starting, you've already got your stuff, your media turned back to you.
Yep.
Michelle Chapman, a slower second. Definitely going to count, we thought, in our eyes.
Yep.
I should never learn, or, I'll never learn, I think, to kind of jump the gun and say, oh, well, of course that's going to be 3 whites. Obviously, perfect depth, right?
Yes.
At some point, you'll think, okay, he'll figure it out. I like to, I think, speak that into existence. So we try to.
We also have the same exact view as you guys do at home. So we don't have any additional angles or sides. So what we're seeing is what you're seeing. The refs have different angles than we do. So they're going to see things that we don't. And we're also watching 2 platforms at once.
Yeah, that's right.
Versus the refs are looking at 1 platform. So it's easier to find those small things that we might be missing.
And the platforms are rarely perfectly synced up in terms of their attempts. All right, I've got a real nerdy powerlifting term that I want to get into because I just noticed it really well from Mrs. Francis over there on the right side. Compensatory acceleration, the bottom of the squat, right? Talk to me about that, how she speeds up towards the bottom of that hole, right?
So people will do that to try to, like, what we call catch the bounce. It's the obviously not medical term, right? Your muscles are having a little bit of a stretch reflex to try to gain momentum to shoot you back up towards the top. It works for some people. The hard part about that is if you don't catch it at the right time, you might tip forward, you might go backwards. It can be very inconsistent, but if you're doing it well, like she showed, it worked well for her. It's better up, and she was able to stand up through that typical sticking point that people will see.
Yeah.
And it was a great squat.
And speaking of great squats, beyond 400 pounds on platform 3 with April Gray. Big 182.5. I like that. They never ask us, however. Well, you see what I do?
Yep.
I'm going to take that one. Shame on me.
Commentator curse.
Yes.
So she got 2-to-1 no lift on depth. Both lifters got 2-to-1 no depth, no lift on depth. Those red cards down to bottom below the red lights is indicating that they did not squat low enough. Hopefully both of those athletes retake.
Yep.
Hit depth, and then they'll be good to go.
Yep. Emily will need to post a successful squat to get a total here. Really, openers were, for the most part, very convincing across both flights on both platforms. But Emily in this spot here needing to dig a little bit more for her second after the miss on the opener.
We're looking for depth here, so hip crease has to be below the top surface of the knee joint.
Bar speed.
2-to-1, good lift.
Yeah, that'll work for us. And on to third attempts, Kamaria Bain up at the top of the card, 122.5. Count it.
Beautiful.
In the neighborhood of 269, 270 in pounds. I'm going to cheat at some point here on the day, and I'm going to whip out my whole conversion sheet. I tell you what, I'm just trying to do more of these off the top of my head right now, challenging myself.
I see.
And we do have it on a separate screen
say.
here, but I think the most fun, I'm a paper and pencil kind of guy often. Jennifer Stimson on a 125. She's got it as well. That's another lot number situation where she's taking the same attempt as Emily before her. Rachel Chernick on your left on the 130. The agonizing couple seconds.
Yes.
And then lights.
And we are already on to thirds.
Yeah. Yes, believe it or not. You do have 5 more attempts on platform 4 on the right side of your screen. for the second attempts of the Flight A of Day 2 of the Masters portion of the Nationals, you name it. If you're following along all of this and you comprehend every single word, I think you are probably a seasoned veteran.
Yes.
But that's why we give you some of the just 101 level stuff too. Sarah McGann did clip the rack on her walkout. Did you hear that? We could
oh my goodness.
Yeah, a disgusting grinder too on the third for Amelia.
Wow.
We mean that in the nicest way possible.
Yes.
Disgusting.
That was a beautiful grind. 2-1, good lift.
This is one of those sports too, like disgusting and beautiful can literally mean the same
Yes.
thing. It is just a cursed kind of position sometimes that you have to find yourself in order to empty that tank on your squat. You're
Yes.
probably going to get pitched further over, right? You're going to want to, some will maybe look further down toward the floor. The hips may shift from the position where you were at towards the bottom of the squat versus in the middle. It's brutal, but when you're there, you got to just find what you're made of.
Yeah.
Yamuna, a solid 3 whites. That's a 142.5. Shelly Cole is going to meet the same resistance, but on her second. I liked it.
I was going to say, I did as well. The speed. Be interested to see what she does for a third. Are we going to take our expected, probably 5 kilo jump to our third, or are we going to play it a little more conservative? Mm-hmm. Some people are just slow squatters.
Yeah.
So just because it looks slow doesn't mean that it was actually all that athlete has.
Yep.
So it can be a tough spot to be as an athlete, but also as a coach.
Julie Alec, 142.5.
Mr. Second on depth.
Yeah. Better here. Not quite, however. It's from the left and the center that will not pass.
She did get her first attempt, so she is on the board. Mm-hmm. So she still is working towards that total today. Just not as many kilos as she was hoping.
Not quite. We do have everybody posting at least one successful squat. That's the good news so far. So nobody's fighting for their life, as it were.
Yes. That's a very scary position to be in.
You've been there before with the first 2 squats missed? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm very thankful.
Not on squat.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Taylor Beebe with 2 minimum jumps, but man, it's a 145, and so nothing to scoff at. As she's got 3 whites, we turn it over to the second to last second attempt, as it were, the penultimate of penultimates on platform 4. Jennifer Rosario, 152.5. That's tricky on her towards the midpoint. Mm-hmm. I thought it looked more than good enough. And it will pass. That's 2-1, just a red on her right. 4 unsuccessful second attempts on platform 4. On platform 3, just 2 of them. I mean, really pretty good percentages so far. Pretty good selections and all that.
And that's what you want to see at a nationals meet. These lifters have all earned the right to be here by having successful squats in the past. We just want to replicate that. Just a little bit more weight than the last time.
Jenna Menchofer. You want to talk about putting it all into the adductors. I really noticed that. There's a stronger, again, that knee valgus that we talked about. It's just 10, 15 minutes ago. But you say it's not dangerous, so I'm going to keep doing it. And they're going to keep doing it.
Yep.
Leanne Delcourt down at the bottom of the flight. And down at the bottom of the hole, just shoots back up and 3 whites. Maria Oakton on your left of screen. I'm serious. I love the attempt selection from almost everybody so far. As a guy that has spent more time at the local scene. Now, across 3 different federations, I don't know if I should say this. I am a Powerlifting America competitor, spooky. But I love USAPL, right? And Powerlifting United is kind of, can I say, the grungy new kids on the block type of feel that started to take hold in Michigan, where I'm from. And I see, boy, if I can call it the strictest standards too, and again, not drum up too much controversy, or intentionally drum up as much controversy as possible, the strictness of depth standard more than anything, I think, is what I notice here with USAPL, and it continues to just get ratcheted up here at the national level.
Yes.
On the left, Emily Vanderhey on 170, monster number. And with more in the tank, the stoic sleeves, that also speaks stoic, I think, to Her demeanor will not quite pass Laverne Gray on that 40 kg. Is that going to be the competition best? Stood up a little bit straighter to get the knees locked. What do you think?
Lift is good. She earned that. Every single kilo of that she earned.
What do you hope to be doing at the age of 82, by the way?
I would love to still be barbell squatting.
Uh-huh.
And not only barbell squatting, but to competition standard. A lot of people will say at that age, I just hope that I'm, able to get up off the chair or whatever. And she is out here competing at nationals.
Absolutely. The oldest competitor all day long, Masters 5. You start having to, count on all fingers and toes, okay, how far up ahead is Masters 5. 82 years of age. That is just absolutely splendid.
Yes. I keep trying to get my grandma to come out to powerlifting, and she's like, no, I'm too old. I should just pull up the stream.
Uh-huh. Vicky Thrasher's just grind from the Black Lagoon. But on that third squat, lights. Camera and action, you know how it goes. There's a dreaded hip shift, I think, in there as well. Boy, how do you... Are you ever concerned about hip shift? Do you coach, correctively away from it? Do you feel it in yourself? Do you feel yourself doing it? All those things.
Typically, you're not going to have the hip shift unless there's a range of motion or muscle imbalance. Mm-hmm. I will say, as you're getting to these maximal loads, it is much more common because as humans, we have one side that's a little bit stronger than the other. That's just natural, right? You have your favorite side, so my right side might be a little bit stronger than my left side because I'm right-handed. You might have that shift if right leg is working a little harder. So typically at maximal load, if that's the only time I'm seeing it, really not going to dwell on it that much. Mm-hmm. If I'm seeing it at, sub-maximal during our warm-ups, that's probably when I'm going to start coaching a little different. I'm going to start giving some corrective exercises. Yeah. Because I don't want that to become an issue later on down the road when now we're having, difficulty hitting depth because our hips are shifted.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got to have one more attempt at a 400-pound squat just to wake everybody up in the morning here. April Gray on a 182.5 takes it once more. And in the middle again, it wants to fight, but she wants to fight back. Give it. Good.
3 white lights.
That's worth the wait. The slow down in the middle there.
Yes.
And still a power on through. That wraps up the Flight A squats for Platform 3. They'll turn over to the top of Flight B. Sonia Stevenson will be up first. Jessica Standerwick on your right side as we continue working through the third attempts on Flight A of Platform 4. Again, that's the one on the right side of your screen. And if you can't follow any of this at all at any time, we do not blame you. But that's why you should go on to LiftingCast.com, look for USA Powerlifting Masters Nationals, find day 2, and then find the platform. Even then, when I say it all out loud, I say, oh, this is kind of a process.
Yes, it is. But it is all listed. All weekend will be on LiftingCast.com. Mm-hmm. So go check it out. Follow along with us. You're going to see all of the athletes' attempts before they even get on the platform. You'll be able to kind of follow along and see what they're doing. We already have openers in for benches and deadlifts. So you'll get all the goods.
Yeah. More Powerlifting 101, as you say, everybody's already got their openers put in. When do you put in openers, and what's that look like?
So before 2 hours in the USAPL, 2 hours before competition starts, all of our athletes will weigh in. Mm-hmm. After they weigh in, that is when they will give their openers for squat, bench, and deadlift. Yep. It is not set in stone at that point. You have up until 3 minutes before your flight begins to change that discipline's opener. Yeah. So if you're warming up and you realize, I'm feeling really good today, or maybe I'm a little bit more tired, I'm a little more achy, I need to bring my opener down, I need to bring my opener up, you can do that up until 3 minutes before first attempts. Mm-hmm.
Kelly Tisdale walking out the front of the rack, and she's probably thankful to not be in Powerlifting America, right? One of the more hilarious rule changes that I know has drawn some ire is the inability. I think it's on. Is it all on all disciplines that you can't exit from the front? Yeah. So even after a deadlift, you couldn't step over the bar, go out front of it. Not that we would take a dig at him. It's just hilarious in my own mind. Michelle Chapman under a 125. These are the third squats of Flight A on Platform 4 here for Masters Nationals Day 2 of USA Powerlifting. Shaking the hair out of her face. Understandable.
Yeah.
And it's a 10 kg jump.
That is true. You don't typically see that bigger jump from second to third.
That's what I'm thinking. And yet, works for us. Very nice. You had 3 consecutive athletes there taking 125 kilos, 275 and some change. We're rocking through the largely heavier weight classes. You got 100 plus kg competitors on platform 3 now on your left of screen. Over on platform 3, in fact, all 100s or 100 pluses for this second flight. We creatively call that flight B. It's a tremendously creative sport, is it not?
Yes, yes. Hey, if it's don't broke, don't fix it.
I
If it's
agree.
not broke, don't fix it.
It works for me.
Easy to know as an athlete that B is number 2.
Whoa,
so.
come on, yeah. And then everybody calls out when you're supposed to warm up. That's one of my most hilarious things. Nobody ever told me is like, oh, when do I actually start warming up on? And then usually, you have your PA announcer or something. Ooh, Sarah McGann with the dreaded double pause squat, even worse than the normal one. That'll pass too, though.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't see any up-down. Just because the bar slows or stops does not mean the bar goes down. It can still be a good lift.
Yeah, you bet.
And something we probably won't see much of on squat, but something we might see on bench is an uneven lockout. So one side of the bar can come up first, and then the other one, as long as the entirety of the bar does not move back down, it is not considered up-down.
And how uneven kind of would you let it go before you start worrying about what you've said, like muscular imbalance or those kind of things?
If you're grinding, typically you're not seeing that until third attempts.
Yeah.
If you're grinding through a lift, grind through the lift.
Sure.
We'll worry about it after. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting. Don't let that, uneven lockout bother you. Because sometimes it's as easy as one side started standing first.
You got a heat pack on it for later. You got your ibuprofen or something, right? Yeah, just whatever you've got to do to cope. Jennifer Stimson coming up on your right. That's a 132.5, big number for her. And naked knees. I mean, you don't have to wear the knee sleeve. Like, there's nothing telling you that you have to. I like it. It makes a statement. Jennifer's got that little unevenness, too. It's her left side's a little lower, but depth has been good for so many competitors.
3 white lights.
Would you believe, I shouldn't even say this. I'm really going to regret this if I jinx it in any way. All successful third squats on platform 4 for this flight.
That is really impressive going into our final 4 lifters of this flight.
Can you recall the last time you saw a perfect, perfect kind of relative because you had some missed seconds, but essentially a perfect flight? I personally cannot.
Especially on third attempts, I don't think I ever have.
Yeah, absolutely not. With the strictness of depth standards here, with all of these all-star referee crews, I'm just stunned almost. Catherine Fannin, a monstrous 170. Wow, she's pushing on that 3 reds territory already to open. Shelly Cole on that 140. Whoa! No way.
She's fighting.
Oh, put the clock on that one. We'd have loved to have that tick, tick, ticking. Shelly's going to look up and thank her lucky stars.
Lift is good. 2 white lights. The grind and all.
It's always in the back of my mind. If you empty the tank on squats, that the rest of your day might be a little tougher. And yet, I'm so often proven wrong when some people just like find another gear. They find more in the gas tank that I don't know if I have in me.
Yeah.
Amanda Dahl, 185, and we're not even near the bottom of the flight there. Great catch. You know what? You know why those guys are so strong on the platform? It's the A7 shirts.
Yes. Yes. That is 100% correct. A7 adds kilos.
So I've heard. Again, that's what I'm missing out on, I think. I've, got a mismatched kit that I wear on competition day, right? You got like a notorious lift deadlift slipper, but, ins or wraps and an SPD belt. I'm all over the place. Carrie Varco, oh my goodness, 200 kg on her opening squat.
That is 440 pounds.
Yeah, don't we forget about that sometimes? Don't we get desensitized to the weight that's flying around? And we shouldn't do that, right? It's a shame on us, but I tell you, I've felt it before. Jennifer Rosario's 155. Dunked.
So she had a little bit of a longer time holding that bar waiting for that start command. So we might have had an issue with knees getting all the way locked.
Yeah.
Lift is good.
Very, very nice. I tell you, it was a shame on me in my last competition. I won't mention the competition per se, but I will say I had to hold it for quite a while and wasn't quite certain what that judge was looking for. The moment that I extend those knees fully, and I'm talking fully to the point it feels like I could hyperextend them and have them like invert the joint, that's when I get a squat command. And then, of course, I mistimed breathing and bracing, missed that third squat. I've seen zero of that is my point here, is everybody taking that time to settle it and then kind of start looking up, then be anticipating, or rather reacting to the squat command instead of anticipating it.
Yes. That's a huge thing, especially as lifters. We so often ask, somebody we train with to give us our start commands, and we kind of anticipate when they're going to do it. Okay,
yep.
I've walked out, I've set my feet. I know I'm set. I know they're going to say it right now, and then I can start my squat. But you have to be patient, because just because in your head you're in position, one of the refs might see that your knees are unlocked, right, or that your foot hasn't completely stopped moving, so you can't get that start command yet.
Yep.
So it can be a tricky place to be, that you have to just be patient. You have to react, not anticipate.
I'm glad you said shifting of the feet too. That's one of those very underrated things, that it is always cause for DQ of a lift if at any point after that squat command you get a foot shifting around somewhere. LaToya Snell, whoa, 215 just scalded.
Opening attempt.
Yeah.
That is a crazy strong squat.
Deborah Smith on her opener. We turn it finally down to the second flight on platform 4. Again, we creatively call that one Flight B. And good openers for almost everybody at all times. These openers have just been fantastic. You have 3 total missed opening squats all day long so far on our 2 platforms.
Yes. That's really incredible. All these lifters came out and know exactly what they're doing. This is where that master's piece comes in. They are masters of the sport. Know exactly what to do, exactly what the refs are looking for.
Sonia Stevenson will be on a retake here, but really thought she dunked that convincingly. That'll work. It's only in the center where you get the red for her.
I will say sometimes, because of her leverages, she has that really far forward trunk lean.
No doubt.
From the front, it can be really hard to tell depth.
Yeah.
Because just because the trunk is really far forward does not mean that the hip crease has actually dropped below the knee crease.
Sure.
So we would refer at that point to the side refs, which is why we have 3 refs and not just 1. So yeah, I would, if I was her coach, I'm telling her, don't change a thing.
See, here's the best thing about me is they can't tell from, our position where we are that I'm 5'6" and my femurs are like 6 inches long. Because I have, pardon us, national record first. Hold on, this takes all precedent. Deborah Souza on the 107. Gimme. Yes. A first national record falling 39 minutes into today. Fantastic.
And on a second attempt.
Absolutely, which means you're only competing with yourself on that third. Nice.
That's a beautiful place to be.
Sydney Yeager, her opener is 107.5 on your right, and she will pass that with flying colors. Here's the biggest jump we've seen all day long so far. A 130 to a 145 on the left side of your screen, Kristen Bellis.
I will say, typically with heavier lifters and heavier attempt numbers, like the amount on the bar, you are going to see those larger jumps because it is taxing to squat over 300 pounds, over 400 pounds, etc. So we take a smaller first attempt, bigger jump, and then a little bit smaller jump to that third just to save energy.
Do you believe that a percentage can help predict or can help guide your attempt selection on meet day? Or do you think you kind of throw your normal percentages and RPs out the window because it's just a maximal lift that might be sometimes beyond your max on the day is a little bit different ballgame?
I like to resort back to training.
Yeah.
What if I was having you do a RPE 9 lift? What's your last warm up going to be?
Yeah.
Because that last warm up, granted, usually you're not taking a true second attempt.
True.
For your last warm up. Typically in the gym, we're taking a little bit larger of jumps. But if you're used to taking those larger jumps, why are we going to a meet and taking small jumps? You are going to be so taxed by that third attempt squat that maybe now the rest of your day is fried, like we talked about earlier.
Because you had to open heavy, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it's just more taxing. You've now taken 3 attempts maybe all over 90%.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Whereas if you take your opener at closer to that like 75, 80%, second attempt, a little bit heavier, and then by the time we get to that third attempt, we have the strength and energy to go 97, 100, 102%. So it all comes down to what does each lifter like to do in the gym. Some lifters just like to take smaller jumps. And if that's what you're used to, don't change it.
Veronica Ham, her best competition squat all time, 170. If she takes two 12.5s, she'll be within range of that. This is a 12.5 jump and just smoked with an SHH, smoked the second.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what her third attempt is.
Would you take a comp PR after that on a second?
I mean, she's got a lot left in the tank.
Right. It would be a plus 15. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to say that, okay, 15 is a small jump. But,
right.
Oh, man, I expect that that's going to be the conversation up at the table.
Yes.
Speaking up at the table, tell me what happens. Again, this is more Socratic method. I like to dip into it, give them the 101. But what happens immediately when you finish the lift and you head to the scores table?
So you have 1 minute, you or your coach, doesn't matter. You have 1 minute to get in your next attempt. If you don't put in a next attempt, if you missed your lift, they will automatically put in a retake.
Yeah.
If you made your lift, they will automatically put a plus 2.5 kilos. Just to kind of keep things moving because they don't want you to wait until last second and now you're trying to change up the order because we have to go from lightest to heaviest.
Yeah.
So you have 1 minute. You or your coach go in, you put in your attempt, and at that point it is solidified. You are not allowed to change it. The only time that changes is last attempt deadlift. But typically people are just putting in their attempt. They're not really worrying too much about trying to jockey for position, especially at this point. We're just trying to get every kilo we can out of the day.
Layla Rivera on your left. This is a plus 5 comp best already. And also more in the tank.
Yeah.
Your career days coming. Ow. You see, when will I learn? Dang it. That's from the right and the center that the reds come.
If I'm her, I'm retaking. It's already a competition best.
Yes.
And we miss it on depth. It's not missed on commands. It's not missed on knees. And sometimes that little bit more depth makes the squat a lot harder. And we don't want to go up and miss on strength.
I think that's probably the right call for her. I mean, anytime you got a PR on the bar, you really want to make sure that you leave with it. And
yeah.
That number will be what it'll be. Catherine Fannon's second is 180 here. And that is silky smooth. She'll look up at the lights. She'll see 3 of them all white. Angela Hobbs, 135 on your right of screen. There's a little hitch towards the top.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if it was any up-down movement. Yeah.
You got multiple cards everywhere. Yeah, you're right.
I think there was that little bit of a hitch. It was almost like that right side dipped down. The entirety of the bar kind of had that little shuffle, not just pause. That being said, it did kind of just look like she got tossed forward a little bit, so maybe more of a misgroove than an actual strength hiccup. So we'll see what that looks like on a second.
Amanda Dahl, no issues on the strength, and at the bottom of the flight, it starts to get truly comical. Like, you have to, adjust your glasses. You got to, lean in closer to the screen and say, I'm not seeing this right, am I? Carrie Varco on 217.5. Mia Kane will follow. Latoya Snell, oh, boy, she's just going to launch it into the absolute stratosphere. We won't spoil it till we get there. Don't you worry. Tracy Kogan on her opener of 140. Carrie Varco's 17.5 jump. Oh, man, I'm so glad I'm not a spotter today.
That's a heavy squat to save.
Yeah, they can have it, I say, very, very nicely, very generously. But, yes, a fabulous spotting crew. I mean, if you're going to bring out, the all-star team onto the platform and the all-star team referees and all that, you got to have all-stars on your loading and spotting to really fly through these flights and keep everybody safe.
Yeah. It's a hard job to do because a lot of times we've already seen some really good grinds. Those bars might stop. We have to know. I say we. I will be spotting and loading later in the event.
Yeah.
So we have to know, when do we let the athlete fight versus when do we grab the bar to save them.
Of course.
Right. The second that bar comes down, we're helping because that's no longer a lift. You also have to be ready if someone tips really far forward or falls really far backwards. Sometimes I might, jostle the bar when they walk out, and now they are unstable. So you kind of have to be on the entire time and be ready at all times, which can be really tricky. So if you are a powerlifter and you have not had that experience, I highly recommend it. At least at your local meet. Not saying you have to join us for national spotting and loading, but get that experience.
LaToya Snell on a slow and steady walkout, going to take a national record, go for 5:01 and some change. With more to be had, unbelievable second attempt, bang.
Lift is good. Now, if you were paying close attention, she did get a total of 5 spotters and loaders on the platform. Anytime we break over 500 pounds, does not matter which lift, well, on squat, you're going to get the 4th and 5th spotter and loader. That way everyone is safe. If that bar does come down fast, you've got more people that can help catch. Just keeps everyone safe.
You're telling me you don't believe I can bench 500 pounds?
Not you.
Oh, well.
Just in general. And then I was like, deadlift doesn't get them either. So it is just the squat.
Yeah, my many deadlift spotters that I need,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Oh, Angela Abreu Powell on a 157.5. And that is cash. So we turn it back up to the top of the flight. Flight B's second attempts just beginning now on your right of screen, as Sonia Stevenson on her 90 keys. Her third is good by us. Deborah Souza already took a record. We can tell that, right? Because it was one of those funky denominations that's not 5 kilos. So that 107, what's that mean?
It means that it was a national record.
Yeah.
You are not in Masters and Open. You have to take a 2.5 kilo jump unless you are taking a national or a world record.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you are allowed to take as small as 8.5 kilo. That's what we call chipping it.
Yeah.
Once we get to youth, there's different rules for youth. They are allowed to take smaller jumps. But seeing that Deborah had 107 on the bar and not 107.5 means that it was a record. We went up to 110. And the lift is good.
Going up and up and up, and you're only competing with yourself. Couple of national records falling early in the morning, folks. It is 9:48 a.m., and we are scalding some records.
It's a cool feeling to hit that record, to be that person on the platform that's like, no one else in the nation, in the USAPL, has done this before.
Yep. Christine Bellis had a big old jump of 15, missed her first. Joanne Sansbury on her right side. Looks good to us. Christine might want to look at the lights, but we'll get to. That'll pass. So first 3 third squats for Flight B on the left. Those all pass. And, I mean,
got some good momentum going.
Yeah, I am astounded. We were a single opening miss away from Angela Hobbs here over on Platform 4 of perfect openers, of every single lifter hitting their openers there. Just blows me away, the precision of the attempt selection. Lynn taking a minimum jump here, 112.5. But that looked just about perfect. Maggie Jones on a 155. Let's get 6 whites all up there at once, can we? Oh, I'm telling you. How many times do I got to do that today, right? Like, it's early, and I'm already running my calculator up. I'm going to start tallying them for myself and give myself some sort of punishment for it. Shame on me. Layla Rivera, a retake at 170. She got a little pitched over on her last one, and Squatters made a save. Spotters made a save, that is. Try and say that 3 times fast.
She's definitely strong enough for this.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, you want to talk about removing all doubt on the third. Again, an agonizing couple of seconds wait, but it'll pass. Cindy Yeager on her second money with 115. And we thought we might see it from Veronica Ham. She is going to go up a 15 and wants that competition best.
You know, I don't blame her. That second one moved really, really well. And if you're going to do it anywhere, why not do it at Nationals?
Mm-hmm.
Valerie taking 120 kilos. 3 white lights.
Very nice. A record Veronica's sat on for 4+ years here. Will she smash the competition best? Not quite, and that is saved at 172.5.
That was so close. That was a very good effort. I think it was honestly, I mean, it was a missed lift, but it was the right call. That second one moved so well. And you think that, you know, at Nationals, you're going to draw a little bit more energy from the crowd, from the environment, atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Why not give it a go? It was a good effort.
Jacqueline Todd, a little slower second on 122.5, in the neighborhood of 270 pounds. Lots and lots of good squats and not a lot of not so good squats. I think that was a Dr. Seuss book. Heave Weatherwax on the 175. Little exhale I noticed for her before the very top. Have you ever heard of like the squatting into like chest deep water kind of cue? I've heard this before from just a couple of people. It's like more so on rep squats, on higher efforts where you really get into the weeds and you're breathing pretty hard and heavy towards the top. And they say, okay, you can let that breathe and brace go by the time your chest would be like rising out of water if you were in some like chest deep water.
You know, I've never heard it, but it makes a lot of sense. And I think as a lifter, when I am doing a max effort lift and I'm hitting that really heavy grind, that is typically what I do. You kind of get to the top and you do have that little bit of a battle cry to like let out that air because you've been holding that pressure and you almost need that little bit of a decrease in pressure.
Yeah. Catherine Fannin looking to equal her competition best. She's got it. From last year's Raw Nats, that was a 12.5 increase, but from her all-time best total, equaling her 190. Angela Hobbs, a retake. Missed on depth on her first.
Depth, up, down. It was just a little bit of a funky squat.
Yeah, she got all of the different cards at once. You don't see that too often. And now, take a while to get started, right? But it's not by any means just how you start. Amanda Dahl, 2 on a 202.5. Now let's get 6 whites. How about it? We got 2 on one side. That still counts. Not going to happen on the other.
So, yeah, I think with her squat that time for sure, as she got to the top, she had a lot of that like up-down bouncing movement through her knees. Now, was it more of a what we're going to call a misgroove, or was it kind of at the top a lot of times, especially if you're training on regular gym equipment? That bar has a little bit of what we call whip.
Yeah.
So she's used to training that way. When she comes here, it's that movement that she might be looking for, but in the sport of powerlifting, you have to just stand up and lock your knees. You can't have that bounce at the top.
You have to just stand up. Why did I never think of that? Carrie Varco. Oh, that's 3 red. Or, well, you got the reds all across with 1 blue from the middle, too, but not going to pass. She took a competition best, took that big swing, and comes up just a tad short. I got to see Mia Kane at the USAPL Michigan State Championships, and she was a guest lifter there. Just, I mean, leaps and bounds beyond anybody squat-wise in terms of all female competitors there. Here she goes over 500 pounds, that elusive 500-pound barrier.
Not very many female lifters in general can say they've squatted or attempted 500 pounds, and Mia has now joined the party.
An exclusive club adds 1 more member here over in Chicagoland. Mia Kane. Bang. Tracy Kogan on her second squat. That's a 15 jump, and that is silky. Oh, you got reds on the left and the right. It passes from the center only. They always say the side judges are in a better position, right, to tell the depth.
Yeah.
Whether I want to admit it or not. We want to, pass everybody, but again, they don't allow us to vote.
We are on our final squat attempt for platform 3, 518 pounds.
Let's get another record-breaking performance. LaToya Snell. Snell's like Master's spirit. Oh. That's the worst thing in the world because I was holding on to that and I was trying to okay, I got to drop it in here at some point. And, well, it's just unsuccessful. She did secure the competition best on her second, a comp PR she will still leave with, but a little bit short on the 235. That was still actually a plus 10 to her best all-time squat.
Wow.
From her second attempt. I mean, that's a ton.
Yes.
All right, so as we blanket, we're down to just platform 4 for a moment. These squats are at second attempts. Right towards the bottom, you got Angela and then Adrienne Lockhart to follow, and then we'll turn it back over for third attempts. 100 kg pluses out of everybody in this flight. Measured and knocked out. Angela Abreu Powell, good second on 162.5. When are you up for loading and spotting? Is it after this session, or you got to?
It was supposed to be this morning.
Wow.
And then I got pulled to commentate, so yes, I'll be back out there this afternoon. This would be the platform that I would be on, is platform 4.
I think you've made the better choice for this morning, if I may say.
It is a much nicer way to start your morning.
Yeah, you bet. A slower and less stressful, hopefully.
Yes. I mean, I get to sit down here instead of having to do lots and lots and lots of squats and moving lots of plates.
Yeah, you get a whole training day of many hours.
Yes.
You stack up a ton of volume. Adrienne Lockhart, the heaviest second squat attempt. When you're down at the bottom of the flight, it's good news because we always tell you progress throughout the flight in order of lightest to heaviest. That will not quite pass as it's red from the center and the right. Again, you got to have 2 out of 3 of those lights flashing white in order to pass the lift.
Now, at Nationals, we do have a jury. So there is a jury table, 1 jury table for platform 1 and 2, 1 jury table for platform 3 and 4. A 2-to-1 lift can be contested. So if the coach or the athlete feels that the lift is good, they can go to the jury, and the jury can, what we call, overturn the lift if they agree that maybe there was a misseen aspect of the lift that they don't agree with. Typically, when a athlete misses on depth or the cards are the same, you're probably not going to get it overturned. Just because the jury does tend to side with the refs because, again, they have the best view.
And at Nationals, I'm telling you, the all-star crews of referees that they bring in, you wouldn't believe sometimes, from everything that I've heard, where they fly all these people in from and the international experience that many of these come in with. Many of your jury will be internationally certified referees and those kind of things. I mean, you're talking a high level, dramatically beyond your local meets that you and I just populate.
Yep.
Deborah Smith, a 12.5 jump. Yeah, but when you feel it, you gotta let it fly. I'm telling you, I am a stoic sleeve enjoyer. And I'll tell you why. The very, very stiff sleeve is the wave right now, right? Everybody knows it's, hey, A7 Rigor Mortis, right? Shout out A7, your presenting sponsor. It's the Inzers, the Kona, right? The Ergo Pros, all those really aggressive sleeves. Even SBD has, I understand, a stiffer sleeve that they're starting to compete in that stiff sleeve space. I'm telling you, I love the Stoic because they are so comfortable and less restrictive for those who struggle with depth. Did Lynn stumble upon coming back to the rack? Okay.
Yes. So I believe what happened in that squat is there's 2 things that could have happened. One, she lost her balance, fell forward, had to take a step to recover her balance, which I believe is what happened there. It looked like that bar rolled forward a little bit. The other thing that could have happened is in training, a lot of times we'll stand up from the squat and immediately try to re-rack the bar. That could have been what happened as well. She was like, okay, I know I'm going to make it all the way to the top. I'm just going to re-rack the bar now. But at a powerlifting meet, you do have to wait for that rack command.
it hadn't even been really relevant until now to say it, but yes, you do have 2 commands on the squat. Of course, you can take it out whenever you want, right? Take it out of these hooks. The squat command allows you to descend, and then you come up whenever you're able to,
Yep.
whenever your body will let you. And then, yes, you've got to wait at that top until you get the rack command. That was the only time we'd kind of, quote-unquote, seen it missed, that rack command. Cindy Yeager's 120. Looking good by us. You bet. Weight is changing over here for Valerie Sapp up next. Still just 1 missed final squat out of these Flight B attempts here. They got a little bit trickier in Flight B over on Platform 3. You had 4 total misses, but, I mean, some of those were huge swings at records, right? LaToya Snell wanted 235, so they could give her a pass. Now, Valerie's got the best squat face all day so far. Come on, you've got to give that to her.
I was going to say, she's all the way over on Platform 4. We are by Platform 1, and I could hear her yell from here over the headset.
Right. There is an infectious energy that kind of the sport sometimes tends to bring out of you. But that's at literally any position, right? So our position over here, as you mentioned, we're kind of tucked in the corner with monitor feed. But audience members, they pick their favorite lifters throughout the day, and they get really hyped for them. Obviously, friends and family who come to support you. Coaches and loaders and spotters even kind of, pick lifters that they really support. It is just a different atmosphere. If you've never been to a powerlifting meet, again, you said it earlier, I think, in while we were still in our first flights, is just come and try. You don't have to be at the nationals level, but just come and see it sometime and feel what it's like here over by the platform. It's infectious.
Yes. All right, we are in a position where Angela needs this squat. She is our first lifter that has had 2 misses so far, so we are in danger of bombing out here. All she's got to do is stand it back up. And it sounds simple.
Yeah.
But there are times that just standing it back up is actually really hard. Because of all of the little things that these refs are looking for that might be different than the way she trains.
Yeah. Has been hit with a number of different cards so far. I thought she was going to really narrow up the stance. I thought, well, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it pays off for her. Now, gets all set, has had to wait quite a while on that squat command. Now, with 1 more try to post a total.
Squeeze and hold it.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see any up-down.
Okay, that's a great start.
Oh,
no, from the center in the right. Okay, yellows. Are you thinking? There's always that elbow contact with the knees.
Yeah.
And few have an anatomy that'll even allow that. But yes, it's possible. Is that what you expect?
That's what I think they were calling. Yellow card kind of is just a catch-all for everything else.
Yeah.
That isn't a red or a blue.
Yeah, the et ceteras.
Yes. And I think that's what it was, because to me, I mean, she definitely didn't drop the bar. She definitely didn't blatantly miss the lift. We didn't have any foot movement. Holly showed us a beautiful 3rd attempt there. But yeah, I didn't. That would be my best guess.
Angela has just had a squat overturned. Hey, look, you just told it. Isn't it funny how that Providence comes up? Very, very nice.
Yes.
So you said that anytime you have a 2-to-1 lift, you can go to the jury. That is, if you get 2 reds at any point, you can go talk to them.
Yes.
But 3 reds,
Correct.
All right.
Right. They're going for, if all 3 refs saw something.
Yeah.
Clearly something happened.
Sure.
If one ref was like, oh, no, that's a good lift, now there's a little bit of wiggle room, right? A coach can go over and be like, I don't think her elbow touching her leg actually benefited her at all. It's just an anatomy thing.
Sure.
Right? Or maybe it didn't fully make contact, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they went over.
Very, very nice. First overturned lift for the day at the jurors' table. Tammy Straws, 142.5. Talk about your more in the tank. I mean, that's got that feel of like the second to last warm-up. That's awesome, too, at the same time, because you got a whole lot more to dig into should you need it later on with the bench and the deadlift.
Yep. Right. She's still got 6 more lifts on the platform.
Oh, yeah.
But she's still got all sorts of energy she needs for the day.
After Angela does get that overturn, again, the reason why it's so huge, she posts a total.
Yes.
That was what was riding on that attempt right there. And so everybody still has got a number up on the board. You might hear me audibly knock on wood right there, but a great, great moment early on in the day for Angela Hobbs, the overturn to a successful squat. Tracy Kogan, a minimum jump here, 157.5, is just blown up. That was a spectacular display. We're getting towards the very bottom of the squats here on these two platforms. You got just 3 more attempts here, all at the exact same weight of 167.5. Again, my favorite topic in the world, lot numbers. Just meaning, right, it's riveting, and it's one thing that technically people don't tell you about powerlifting, and okay, it's probably our prerogative to explain it. But yes, the lowest lot number means that Adrienne Lockhart will be the first one to take this exact same weight. Should be real close to beginning the bench press over on platform 3. That'll magically reappear on the left-hand side of your screen real soon.
She's got to squat it a little bit deeper this time. She did miss her second on depth. So really watching for that hip crease to drop below the top of the knees.
Agonizing couple of seconds. Weight still shows 2-1.
It's playing to her benefit, that really fast drop down and stand back up. The less time you spend at that end range, the more likely you are to get it past if it's borderline, because the ref is going, give the benefit of the doubt to the lifter if you're not exactly sure.
Yep.
And if you don't spend time in that position for them to see it, they're going to give you that weight.
Tamara Guadagnoli, our favorite. I think she makes the all-name team for these morning sessions. Tamara's going to look up and not quite see the lights go her way. That is a yellow from the center and a red from the left. They're all reds, of course, right? All just the red lights, but then the cards to go with, as we've mentioned, are the blues and the yellows for the many different little technical faults here, there, and everywhere that have been creeping up. Opening bench press of the Flight A Platform 3 group. Jenna Menschhofer on 57.5. They always call it the most technical lift. I know, Brandeis, that you're going to be really happy to explain to us why.
Yes. So as a bencher myself, well, let's watch Angela real fast. 167.5. Grinding through. Beautiful third attempt.
Yeah, that's in that right range where you weren't going to get much more out of the day, but you end it with a mic drop for the bottom of the flight. It means something to be at that bottom, and it means even more to polish it off with a successful third.
Yeah, so back onto this bench press. There are 3 commands for bench press. So there was 2 for the squat. There is 3 for the bench, which does make it the most technical because there's most that you have to listen for, most things that the refs are actually looking for, most technicalities that we'll probably see. But back to the commands for the bench press, you get bars loaded. That is when the athlete can then enter the platform. They will touch nothing other than their belt. Once they have themselves all set, they can either receive a handoff from one of our spotters and loaders, or they will do a self-handoff. Once they're in position, refs all agree, they will get a start command. Lower the bar to their chest. Once the bar is motionless, they will get the press command. Saying that does not mean they have a pause. Right, so a lot of times people are like, oh, they have to hold it for 1 second or they have to hold it for 2 seconds. Not true. Once the bar is motionless, that is the moment they will get that press command. So the faster that bar becomes motionless, the faster your press command.
Yeah.
If you get to the bottom and you're bouncy, you're going to have to hold it.
Yep.
Once that bar then is pressed all the way back up to lockout, they'll get the rack command.
Yeah. It's 10 a.m. I think this is a good time for the first conspiracy theory. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. I've been talking to a ton of referees. Like I said, I have been at local meets a ton of different places as a commentator, as a competitor as well. But every referee across many different federations, like I say, USAPL, Powerlifting America, Powerlifting United, they keep telling me they want to see everybody, not necessarily tempo their bench, but control the descent more. Descend specifically more slowly. They say we will almost always give a press command if it's, even a little bit borderline on the motionlessness, as we're going to see from Rachel right here.
Yep.
They say we will, if you descend slower, almost always give you that press command quicker. Is that a conspiracy? Do you think that's true? Have you talked to refs about it, and how do you coach it?
I don't necessarily feel like it's a conspiracy. I think it's the vision, right? If the bar is slower, it's easier to see when it stops.
Yeah.
If it's going fast, your eyes have to watch it go fast and then have to wait for it to stop. And if it's going fast, you're much more likely to get a little bit of a rebound at the bottom. That being said, I am a bencher with a high arch and a pretty fast descent, but because right at the end I have that control, I usually pretty quickly will get a press command. So it just is dependent on the press style and your control over the bar.
Talk about your press style. Maria Oakton was another fantastic example. It's like we hand-selected these to be exactly what we wanted to show. That is a sink-style bench, correct?
Yep.
Right? Allowing that bar to clearly depress your chest, right? That is, the chest is at some certain height, and the bar will clearly depress into it. And then that caused, I think, undeniably, a longer pause upon her chest before she got that press.
Yep.
I am actually wearing my tinfoil hat. You can't see it. It fits under my headset, however.
Yes.
I truly have heard it from a lot of referees. Basically, if they could, kind of coach people on meet day, they would say, hey, if you bench a little bit slower, if you especially take it down your chest a little bit slower, you're probably going to get that quicker press. You got just one missed bench opener so far. Again, it was the commands issue from Rachel Chernick. Kind of tried to come right off her chest before that press. The famous jumping of the press command, right? Taylor Beebe's opener here, 80 keys. And Yamuna Menon will take the same thing in a moment. 80 kg, 176 pounds and some change. And the very bottom of this flight has what we call an outlier, statistically speaking. You see it? Again, you should be following along here on LiftingCast.com. Look for 2026 USA Powerlifting Masters Nationals. Day 2, Platform 3 now, and we'll have Platform 4 when it comes back in a moment. Again, it's a mouthful, but it would allow you to see what we're seeing, the lifters who have put in their coming attempts. And you'll see Emily Vanderhey feature very much on the right-hand side of the curve, right? Your standard normal curve. I think that's one of the more nerdy things I'll say today, but not probably the most. It's on that rightward tail. That is a big outlier. We'll just spoil it for you. It's 107.5 kg.
Heavy opening attempt.
You bet. Kamaria Bain was at the top of the flight for squats. She's towards the bottom here with bench. Her opener here is 85 kg, right around body weight for her. All 90 kilo class competitors, all Masters 1s here in Flight A on Platform 3. Her best squat, 122.5. Opener for bench, 85.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, you bet. And we start to build out subtotals. Hey, once more, Socratic method. What the heck's a subtotal?
Exactly as it sounds. It is before the total, so it is the addition of your squat and your bench, your heaviest successful lifts.
Yep. I'm telling you, it's one of the most creative sports I think that's ever existed. We call things what they are, don't you worry. Suzette Escobar on 85 kg as well. And just about everything good so far on the first bench attempts. Rachel Chernick, the only miss for this platform. You do get 10 minutes of time between finishing one discipline and beginning the next for each platform, right? So clearly they're not synced up right now. Platform 3 has been a little bit ahead. They're almost done with their first bench attempts for everybody in the flight, and you don't quite have Platform 4 starting. They got 5 minutes and change before they begin their first attempt. It will be the ageless wonder Laverne Gray at the top of the flight when they do start. Again, it'll just magically appear on the right-hand side of your screen. Don't worry about how all that happens. Let us worry about it. April Gray's 90 kg opener. So far, and so good on the bench press. I say us. I don't mean you and I, Brandis. I mean the entire Barbell Productions crew. The hugeness of this production. Is that a word?
It is now.
Right? The tremendous size of this production from Barbell Productions it's unspeakable. So much of it is not in the camera frame. So much of it is all over the entire room, everywhere. The hype videos before, the meet photos and videos during, the entire live broadcast production here. Insane, the size of this production, just how many are involved in it. Thanks once again to owner Kevin Lamb. I hope he's behind me, heard me say that. I don't know. He's always around somewhere. Emily Vanderhey, again, your outlier. Way down at the bottom of the flight and smokes a 107.5 opener. Easy. You already said it. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. No other way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. We're not seeing a ton of minimum jumps put in. Again, when you cheat and you look at everybody's next attempts from the table. Do you like minimum jumps for bench with female competitors? Does it matter? Is it, again, do you make some of those decisions based in the warm-up room? Do you make some of them on percentages? How do you coach bench attempts?
I think for women, specifically as women,
Sure.
right, bench press is not going to be as strong. We're not leveraged well for it. So I think a lot of times you are seeing that 5 kilo jump from first to second and then a 2.5 from second to third. Mm-hmm. Give yourself a little wiggle room of the first. If it doesn't go well, you have something smaller to go to. Mm-hmm. Typically, though, you're going to take that opener. It's probably going to feel pretty good. Take your second one as expected. Probably going to be a little heavy. Take your third one. Try your best. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But then you're not losing out on kilos.
Yeah.
If you leave too much on the platform between 1 and 2, then you have to take a bigger jump 2 to 3. You're going to miss out on more kilos. So I think 5 kilos is probably a pretty safe jump for most benchers.
This is a 7.5 jump upcoming for Amelia. But, yeah, the average, the consensus here seems to be about 5 for most of the flight. And when we get there, we'll continue to point them out. You did have Jenna Menchhofer starting to push that attempt timer a little bit. I haven't really mentioned it so far for the day because we're just flying. Again, knock on wood. But flying through in terms of the speed of each flight. Amelia's got some stickiness towards the top. Still will count that. Blows a kiss, too. Very nice. Good touch for her as she saunters off.
But that was kind of exactly what I was talking about. First one looked pretty good. Second one's a little bit heavy. She might not take a third. If she is, she's probably going to take that 2.5 kilo jump.
Yep.
And see if she's got it. Statistically speaking, third attempt benches are the most missed lift because of that.
Yeah.
2.5 kilos can feel like a lot when it is a max effort lift.
Absolutely. And she did put in a minimum jump at the table. It makes perfect sense to us. You say not take a third. What's that option?
So you don't have to take any attempt, right? You could not put in a number and not take an attempt.
Yeah, who's saying you have to?
Right. Sometimes you will see lifters, if their second is really, really grindy, they won't take a third because there's no point in going out if you know you're not, if you don't have a chance at making it, or if you're going to completely empty the tank and maybe they want all their energy for deadlift.
Yeah.
So each lifter comes in with their own kind of goals on the day.
Yep.
Sometimes you hit that second attempt and you're like, I don't have it. There's no point in going out risking injury, risking, a failure, extra use of energy that maybe you could have saved. So don't put in a number for your third, or as some people would say, put in a number and then don't come out. That way the clock still runs. It gives all of your competitors the same amount of time between first and second and third.
Yep.
But you don't have to take that last attempt.
Rachel missed on commands on her first. That is, I think, what a lifter will like to complain is a brutal pause.
Yes.
that felt like much longer than the, rarely longer than a second or so, but probably felt like a whole lot more to her. Still, it passes, and that is the most important thing because you just got to get one successful lift on the board for each discipline to post a total, right?
Yes. I think the hard thing for her, too, is she's coming off a missed lift on the first one where she did jump the command.
Yep.
The bar was a little bouncy on her chest, so she does have to hold it until it is completely motionless. And unfortunately, the refs are going to be looking extra for it because the first one was so dramatic.
Sure. Laverne Gray, look, the other platform appears, and the sun is shining upon us on the day. Over here in Chicagoland, coming to you live from the Westin Lombard Yorktown Center, something or other. Can you tell I'm not from here? It's like, for me, it's pretty far to the west. That's about all I know. Maria Oakton on a 7.5 kg jump. Big number for her on the 82.5 seconds. Again, with the pauses from the Black Lagoon. Throws it back on in the rack, and strength's all there. But I never will envy anybody who's got to hang out there and almost threaten losing that stretch reflex that you mentioned on squat. Lots of lifters really feel gives them a benefit, especially when they use some of that compensatory acceleration and they hit that bottom hard and launch up. Laverne Gray opening with her competition PR of 30 kg. And each and every attempt inspiring. When we say the next generation, I don't mean just by age. I mean who's next in the sport. And I think expanding those, Masters 3, 4, 5 age categories to remind everybody that, hey, this lifetime of strength, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest it's good for you.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you get the chance to, work with geriatrics in your practice and that kind of thing?
Not currently. Right now I'm working in pediatrics.
Okay.
But I have worked in geriatrics before, and obviously learned all about it in school.
Yeah.
And strength training is one of the best things that you can do. Really at any age, with good programming and good training. But specifically as we get older, our bones become less dense. Strength training can actually reverse that. So we can actually add density to our bones. We're less likely to break something if we fall, if we trip. We have more strength to be able to lift our groceries up off the ground and play with our grandchildren and all of those things. So really, absolutely love being a part of Masters Nationals because it is so inspiring to watch all of these lifters come out as they age, just continuing to keep their strength. And for some people, even gain it as they're older. Yeah. Which is a much harder thing to do. So I love coming out and seeing all of these lifters hitting PRs and attempting PRs. Because as we get older, it's much harder to hit PRs.
Absolutely. Your training age is one of those things that they always talk about, right? Just how many years do you have under that bar? How much cumulative load for the many, many years you've been training has been stacked on you. And I do see, though, in Masters 1s, 2s specifically, a lot of people, if they have begun their strength training journey, decades ago, again, it's kind of a conspiracy theory, I kind of believe that everybody can hit into those 40s or their 50s lifetime strength PRs. Not, just body weight, not, my best dot score, my best good lifts points, my best, whatever relative strength ratio. I think truly more are capable of all-time strength PRs into these age divisions than maybe some want to commit or admit to.
Yep.
But you'll never know until you get there and you're training and you're under the bar in that 4th, 5th, 6th decade.
Yeah. And
so that's what we see all day long with here on the Masters National stage. So many setting their all-time strength PRs. April Gray, as she was all the way at the bottom of the flight for a squat, knocked out a 400-plus pound squat, the heaviest that we've had all day long over here on these two platforms. And the second heaviest bench attempt for her coming to 95 kg.
Yeah, we're over 200 pounds.
You bet. 209 and some change. April Gray on the second verse, just about the same as the first. And then the outlier at the bottom of the flight, Emily Vanderhey, 115. So, it was heavy to start with, very heavy. Yeah. And then she jumps 7.5, which we usually say is often too much on bench. But are you going to tell her not to?
Absolutely not. I will say, like we talked about with squat, the heavier the lift, the bigger the jump, typically, because she's wanting to save that energy. Sure. I think a 7.5 kilo jump here is completely reasonable. It'll offer a little more resistance for her, so I'm expecting this to have slowed down. But based off her first, I think 7.5 is a good jump.
All right, let's find out. Bottom of the flight, second attempt, Emily Vanderhey. That's the up and down, right? Yep. The dreaded up and down.
I know I keep saying it, but I think that was more of a misgroove than an actual strength thing. That bar was moving very well. And then once she recovered that little bit of a bobble, it really locked out pretty easy.
Yeah.
So I expect her to come back out on that third and retake and hit it without a problem. I think that bar just traveled a little bit down. So as she pressed, it looked like it got away from her a little bit, moving down towards her like stomach area.
Yeah.
That's a really hard position to recover from. Shoulders can't hold it there.
Yeah.
She almost has to bring it backwards a little bit, and then it traveled down, causing that missed lift.
I want to ask you about touch point,
Yeah.
too. Where do you choose to bring the bar to your chest, and where do you find most people probably should? What's kind of the happy medium or the average touch point?
So I think it depends on your arch height.
Yeah.
A lot. The higher the arch, the lower the touch point. Makes sense, because you kind of want to just be not necessarily in line with your shoulders, a little bit lower than your shoulders. But you definitely don't, that as you arch higher, that point will get lower on your chest. So like I said earlier, I'm a very high archer, so I am hitting kind of right where the end of my sternum is, a little bit lower than that.
Yeah.
But when I do a flatter bench, I'm a little bit higher. So I think most people, typically it's taught that right about nipple line is a good place to be for bar placement if you're a flatter bencher.
And do you also vary based on your grip width? Because we all know grip width can be a contentious subject. Amelia, not quite on her third. I think she bid adieu this time as opposed to blowing the kiss, but understandable. She had a tough second and a really strong second. She did take a competition best bench as well, so already had that in the tank, already had that secured.
A lot of time, that's all you can ask for.
Right.
Hit the competition best on a second. Give it your all on the third.
Yeah, talk about house money.
Yeah. That way anything from that point is just extra.
Mm-hmm. Rachel Chernick missed commands on her first. Not too bad on her second, but again has had to hang out on her chest. Is not phased on the 80 keys. What do you say? Hey, Chicago, what do you say, right?
3 white lights. Yeah.
Chicagoans, is that what they call them, right?
I think so.
That sounds like I'm stretching. I don't know.
Yes.
Sorry. Hilarious.
No, that is correct.
All right, good to know. I wonder if the Cubs or the Sox are kind of the prevailing, kind of the dominant team around here.
I think it depends on what area of Chicago you're in.
Right,
if you're in the wrong
that.
area, don't say the wrong team.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Territoriality.
Yeah.
Michelle Chapman's opening bench on 70 keys. And some on platform 3. Empty that tank. Likely all she was going to get on the 80 keys. Looks good by me. 2-1. Now we're hearing even beyond the headsets. We have a national record attempt coming. Janice Francis's opener on 75. She's one of those Masters 4. So that'll run up through the age of 79. Again, what do you hope to be doing even at the age of 70?
I'm not exactly sure, but I can say opening my bench press with 165 pounds was not something I would put on my banner to do, my bingo board, but she just did it with absolute beauty and grace.
You bet she did. Very, very convincing. I notice a lot of shake in the arms upon her unrack, but there are just simply some who unrack and kind of have that. Is it the nervous system getting cranked up? Is it the caffeine?
Could be both.
Yeah. I think we've all been there at some point,
both
right?
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, as a spotter and loader and a ref, if that does happen, I am usually a little more cautious.
Yeah.
Just because if you're shaking, you're a little bit more unsteady. Yeah. If you're unsteady, it's easier to lose the bar. But she didn't, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Taylor Beebe, 85 keys, is picture perfect. Like you might imagine, we have a couple of attempts of the same weight in the flights for bench press. Just with the smaller jumps, it's not shocking that should happen. Still have Emily Vanderhey lurking on at the very bottom of the flight, her 115. She will retake that for the heaviest bench attempts of the day on our platforms. Yamuna on the 85. It budged off the chest and then not much further beyond.
I will say I've seen this a couple of times from lifters. At USAPL or in USAPL, you're not allowed to bail the bar, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You have to stay with the bar is what we call it, even if you do fail a lift.
Yep.
That includes the bench press. So even if you are missing a lift, don't let go of it. Spotters and loaders do sometimes overlift how much weight is on the bar.
Sure.
So it might kind of jerk you up a little bit, but it is much safer for you to stay with the bar than just to let go of the bar. That way, if anything happens, everyone is where they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. There you go. RPA announcer just nailed it. He heard you talking. One more tremendously long pause will put an end to the third bench of Maria Oakton. She will come up 87.5 kg short on that last attempt. Laverne Gray, once more 82 years of age, our one single competitor of Masters 5s on the day. This 32.5 will equal her heaviest bench attempt all time. It's on her second. In no hurry. This is such a calculated, calm, cool, collected. If it starts with a C, it's alliteration. It's fantastic to watch the deliberateness of the setup. Now it budges, and towards the midpoint, might have had the up and down. Not quite. Her 32.5 bid coming up empty here.
You can see her dancing off to the side.
Well, don't you have to have a great sense of humor? Look, yes, at 82 years of age, you have to have a good sense of humor. But, I mean, to survive this sport that wants to crush you up into little pieces, that wants to fold you into a ball at some point, and when you stick with it long enough, you will hit weights that do that. I think you have to have that sense of humor in you.
Yeah.
And some do, and they handle that failure when it comes, because it will come, a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Kamaria Baines, 95. Again, towards the top for squat, towards the bottom for bench. Looks good on a 95. Let's see. 3 whites. And throws the chalk like LeBron. To think we've gotten NBA finals without LeBron James, 10 finals in, and it still ends up being one of the most cinematic. Oh, my goodness. I stayed up a little bit too late, full disclosure, watching Game 4 of the finals last night. I thought, surely a 27-point lead is secure in the second half. Surely.
Yeah.
No, you moron.
You would think.
That's what I get for turning the game off eventually to try and make it here in time. And then, of course, I'm here in more than good enough time in the morning, but still unbelievable. The state of New York is likely still burning into the next day. April Gray, 97.5 keys. And the little shake of the head told us all we needed to know, said, not quite.
But she took that mandatory 2.5 kilo jump, the smallest jump that she's able to take. So what we would call that is she didn't leave any kilos on the table. Mm-hmm. She took all she had on the day on the second.
Yep.
The third was for extra, so no big deal there. Still successful at 95 kilos.
You bet. And this will be just the second time we've mentioned it on the day so far because these third benches are tricky. You said most commonly missed lift. But her subtotal still is beyond 600 pounds.
Yeah.
That is the sum of just her best bench and her best squat so far. That does leave her ahead of everybody else on subtotal so far, even Emily Vanderhey, who has a tremendous bench.
Yes.
Good place to be.
Yeah. Retaking that 115 here.
Yes, she is.
Hope we stay in the groove. Yeah.
Wow, that was grooving. I mean, you couldn't have said a better word for it. And on 3 whites, the mic drops. That ties her and April Gray for the best subtotals. 277.5 for each of them. And they got there very different ways.
Yes.
Emily missing her third squat, April missing her third bench, and it all just evens out nicely. Plus, they're the same class, everybody up in that flight, 90 kg competitors. Talk about a good battle down the stretch, it should be.
Yeah. It is all going to come down to deadlift.
Yeah. Are you cheating a little bit and you're glancing at their deadlift attempts? Like it's going to be really close?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
I'm rubbing my hands together. I said, ooh, give me that. Very nice. The opening bench attempts for Flight B on Platform 3. Deborah Souza already recorded a couple of national records for her second squats out of the Masters for 100 kgs. Deborah with the 107 squat to set her first record, and then is only competing with herself for that third squat, hit 110. Her bench opener is 47.5. I'm now out of breath.
Very controlled bench press from Jessica. 2-1, good lift.
Yeah, that'll work for us. 1 yellow in the middle on the bench. Tough to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes our best guess is like nowhere close to what they actually called. You know what I mean? Because of exactly what you said, the views of our referees. You see, on platform 3, Sonia's head referee there got kind of up in her grill, right? I mean,
Yes.
a couple of feet from her head at the tip of the bench. I don't think people realize quite how close that is because this is a really cropped camera frame. That's like kind of uncomfortably close. But are they perhaps looking at her like head, neck, upper back area to see if that's in contact with the bench, maybe?
No, for her, is the reason the head ref got so close is for the commands, hearing the commands. It can be loud here with the music, with everybody talking and cheering. So people that have difficulty hearing will ask the head ref to come closer. It's a totally legal thing to do. If you're super hard of hearing, or you or are deaf, you can have them give you hand commands over your face as well, because we want it to be an all-inclusive sport. We don't want your hard of hearing to be a limiting factor.
Yeah. And talk about easily overlooked, something that so many would never think of on the platform. Cecily Broomfield, 70 kg second. And not quite. That'll be pulled. We got 5 more second attempts of Flight A on platform 4. Again, that's the one on the right side of your screen. Layla Rivera opens on 82.5 and just tosses that thing out the club like a bouncer. Well, come on. I mean, you know. Look, we're like an hour and a half in, right?
I know.
Have you felt what you're in for the rest of the day?
Yes, I know exactly.
And then
it's a long day.
Yeah, once you step away from here, from our console, and you have to go and like do all that heavy lifting out there, and you're in the line of fire, you're gonna realize, maybe I wish I was back here. I hope.
Yes, I love commentating.
Right on.
It's fun to it's a fun way to watch the sport.
Yeah, and a unique way that a view that most will never get. Maggie Jones, 90 keys. Opener, please. You bet. So, Flight B on platform 3. Still in the middle of Flight A, roughly, on platform 4. But again, I don't think either of us were complaining when we came in here in the morning and we saw, only 2 flights for the session on each platform.
Yes.
You know? Works for us. Of course, the depth of the flight, that being, how many total lifters, that influences how many flights you got to make out of it. Eve has a long time to hang out there at the bottom. Wow, talk about your motionless as the operant word. Did the press command ever? Wow. The press did come.
Yeah, I don't know what happened on that one because I didn't see it bouncing around at all. Maybe it was tilting and we just can't see because we're looking through a camera.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm very impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the longer benches you'll ever see for an opener. Wow. I mean, you could have taken out your stopwatch and just tick, tick, tick and been blown away by that. Janice Francis wants to take another one of her own records, only competing with herself, and smokes the second again. Multiple H's, smokes. It becomes like a multi-syllable word. Claiming records, and those in even Eastern time are not to their lunch break yet.
Yes.
We got 10:40 a.m. Central here, coming to you live from the Chicagoland area at the Westin Lombard. Veronica Ham, a 102.5 opener. Jennifer Rosario did miss on her first on your right of screen. And
looks good to me that time.
Yeah, it's a good little adjustment. Tiny bit uneven right at the top, right? Her right hand slow a little bit. Do you think that more than anything, like the predicting unevenness of a press, do you think it just comes down to, oh, I'm left-handed, oh, I'm right-handed? Is there more to it?
I think there's more to it. Bench is a lot of factors playing into it.
Yeah.
It could be shoulder mobility, could be hand placement, could actually go all the way down through hips.
Yeah.
Maybe the way that their feet are set up, shoulders are on the bench. I think there's a lot of factors playing into it. Emily there just showed us an uneven touch as well, so it looked like the right side of her bar touched a little bit more than the left.
Yep.
Totally legal. There's nothing wrong with that. Just her anatomy is set up for that little bit of an uneven touch.
Yep. Did not result in the successful lift, though. Just made it a little bit trickier as that bar was moving around. Mia Kane is a great bencher. Her heaviest attempt all time. I was actually, again, there to witness that one. That was the Michigan State USAPL Championship, and they had a special primetime session for the first time in the state of Michigan last season in November. Took a 122.5, missed it there. Goes 107.5 to open here, and all good. Her competition best, 115. I sense that's not safe. If I can, pontificate, if I can throw my prediction out there.
Yeah, I was also looking back at her opening attempts. It seems like 107 to 110 is a pretty typical opening for her.
Yeah, you bet.
So my guess is we're going to see some big benches.
I think
hopefully a successful PR.
Yeah. And if it's in that neighborhood even of 2 reds, when you get to that 2 reds, it's 125 kg, right? It just looks so clean loaded on the bar. We haven't even talked hardly about loading of the bar, but you have your mental loading chart ready. You want to tell people a little bit about loading the barbell?
With comp collars or?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes. The comp collars each are 2.5 kilos. So that will add to the bar. A lot of lifters are not used to lifting with them.
True.
So the barbell might look different when they come out versus what they would typically see at the gym. Some people like that because it's kind of a little bit of a mind trick where if you come out and you see different colors on the bar, you'll be like, oh, I know I can hit that.
Yeah.
Others won't. But, yeah, it's real pretty when there's two red plates, 1 red plate, 3 red plates with that comp collar. It's just an aesthetic look.
Yeah, fully agree. And the incredible display of plates here, like all of these are so picture perfect. Are these, specifically brought in on competition day? Do directors bring in their own, weight trees and plates and all that stuff?
I believe these ones are, yes. I believe these ones are for nationals specifically.
Amanda Dahl. Oh, boy, I just realized that's 135. I knew it was heavier than anybody else. I knew she was going to be at the bottom. I didn't know it was going to be quite that. 297 pounds and some change on the left-hand side of your screen.
Not only were you almost at 300 pounds, we're almost at 300 pounds on an opening attempt.
Yeah. Now, she's made to hang out on the chest, too, for a while and then not phased. And just tosses the 135. Way, way more to be had. What would you do on a second attempt?
For her, probably going 140, 142.
142.5, right. That's my best guess would be she's going to end in that neighborhood of 147.5, even 150. I mean, if you're feeling amazing.
Yeah, with a little bit of a longer pause command, I think I would err on the side of caution.
That's more likely probably because it did slow down a bit. Her second, well, she's looking to spit right in my face. Her second is 145. Okay, that's your prerogative, you know what I mean? Deborah Souza, 52.5. And she's got 3 whites on her side.
We also don't know her training, though. Maybe her training has been with long pauses, and she knows 145 is going to fly no matter what. So Jennifer has taken her third attempt, 65 kilos on the bar. She's fighting. Ugh.
Yeah, she comes up empty. She'll have to settle for the second attempt there of 65. Jessica Sanderwick, 70 kg on the bar as well. Sonia Stevenson on your left of screen with 65, a minimum jump for her. Had a 90 kg best squat. And looks like no issue on the second bench as well. All right, subtotals beginning to round out. Everybody kind of starting to see where they stack up, starting to do some math too. Hey, do I need to change my deadlift opener? Am I feeling good? Did I tweak anything? Is always like a, in the back of your mind, small consideration is, if I'm body's just not feeling right. Jessica Standerwick will get that pulled on 70 kg. She will come up empty. We haven't seen anything that's like dramatic, right? We hate to use that I word, injury, but that's an awesome thing. That's really, really good news too. You just never know what somebody's dealing with. There are tweaks and things that are completely innocuous, right? We can't see them.
Yep. So far, so good though.
Again, we should audibly knock on wood. I hope the microphones are close enough and picking us up. Christine, 77.5 second. Made some good adjustments. She's got just one blue in the middle. And then Cecily on your right side comes a little bit short on the 70. Yeah, you said it, and I'm glad you said it early on with the first flight of bench of the whole day, is the third bench is the trickiest one. That's the most difficult lift out there.
Yeah, statistically most common lift, and platform 4 is kind of showing that. It's a hard lift. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into a bench press. Specifically, you're also having to listen for commands, and sometimes if you listen, you forget to maintain your positioning. Spoken from experience there. And it's hard to recover. So this third attempt can be everything you have, plus a little bit too much.
Yeah. Everything you have and then some, it certainly can be. Shelly Cole, 72.5. Just, again, budged it, but an inch or two beyond the chest that will stall. So a lot of these subtotals that you're going to see at the bottom of your screen, the moment that they flash it up, they won't change. That third bench, we're on kind of a cold streak, if you could say. Just one successful third bench on platform 4 so far for this flight. Leanne will look to break that streak in a moment. Eve Weatherwax with a really long pause first. This a little bit better, a little bit more reasonable for her on the length of the pause. Then at the top, it slows, creeps, and crawls, but still counts. Did we get to go through all 3 commands on bench so far?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. It feels like a long time ago already, and yet it's still flying on through. Objectively, we're 10:48 a.m., nearly through both flights on the bench presses, all the way on third attempts for platform 4, and we have just 4 more total bench attempts. Then again, we'll blank that one, take platform 4 off of your screen. We'll be watching just platform 3 as they round out, and on 4, you'll have another 10-minute changeover before we get to the deadlifts. Two flights for each platform for the entire session all the way through this morning session. You know, we're scheduled for roughly a 2 p.m. start for the afternoon session. Those are approximate times. You know how it goes.
Oh, the way we're moving, I think that's a completely reasonable start time.
It is, and I don't want to continue to tempt fate by saying it any further. You know what I mean? Carrie Farco on the 107.5 is not quite there. She had nice round numbers with the 200 squat and the 100 bench up on the board so far. You know, you want to add to it, but also it looked kind of
It was
aesthetic.
very pretty.
Yeah, why not? Janice Francis. It's a slant rhyme between her, first name and her last name. I don't know what you do with that, but I do know that we're hearing this is a national record attempt. 80 keys out of the Masters 4s, 82.5s. Let's see if everybody can feed into her energy. Janice Francis, nice, slow and controlled. Still a shaky hold, and then the press is the easy part, apparently. Put another record up on the board.
What a beautiful attempt.
Yes. That can't be faked.
No.
That's 70 years on this planet of building that real strength. That is, it can't be given to you. It can't be bought and sold. It's got to be earned. Catherine Fannin. Big second. This is 112.5. She's also taking the heart, the slow descent tips I'm trying to give, and she will smoke the second. No dice on the right on platform 4, Jennifer Rosario, but rather Jennifer up next here on the 85 kg. That was no good for Emily Veta, who will miss her second and third. This will be the final bench attempts of the Flight A lifters for platform 4. Then we got another flight, so creatively called Flight B. Mia Kane equaling the competition PR here on the second, should this come up. Not necessarily a betting man, but I thought that was an easy call.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer's fighting. Ugh.
Yes, but even the 2.5 is 10 times that sometimes, the way it feels in your hands when you unrack that third bench. It's strange. It's like a selective gravity kind of thing. LaToya Snell. Way down towards the bottom. Don't worry, this isn't even the last bench. There's one still to follow for second attempts. And this is 127.5. LaToya's second wants to be sticky. And it will win out for now. That's got to be a retake, right?
Yeah.
It's close to a maximal lift, I think.
Yes, it's hard to know at that point. Do I want to save my energy for deadlift, or do I want to give it one more shot? I think it's completely dependent on how the lifter is feeling. Do they feel like they misgrooved? Do they feel like they touched a different spot than normal? There's a lot that could have gone into a missed lift. But unfortunately, it did look like a strength miss. So it can be a hard call.
Amanda Dahl on 145. Her all-time best competition bench is 152.5. Right in range, right where she wants to be with this second. It is a plus 10, and it looked like it was a minus 10. That's unnerving. I'm told you can't take weight off of the bar.
Right, but it looked like it did.
Jeez.
That was a beautiful attempt.
Uh-huh. I am personally convinced. Just had the first Flight B bench attempt on platform 4. And the second one comes Joanne Sansbury, then Cindy Yeager, both good on their openers, 50 and 55 kg. The third attempts are coming now on platform 3 on your left. Deborah Souza to polish off a 55 kg. I mean, slow and steady should win the race. And on the right with Lynn, did she get that press command in time? Yes. You see, I'm trying to like slip one ear out now at times and see how much I can hear coming through our headset versus can hear just on the PA mic and those kind of things.
It can be hard to do, especially with so many platforms, because which head ref am I actually hearing?
Yeah, right. And multiple times I think I've made that mistake already of, oh, I thought I heard something in the headset, and it was probably not. Sonia Stevenson, 67.5. Minimum jumps, often making a whole lot of sense. You will see a couple of them in this flight, not very many, however. And you might see a gigantic record down at the bottom of it. We're going to cheat and tell you Amanda Dahl is loading a serious weight for a record and a competition PR.
I wonder if it's her record to break.
That's a really good question because we know it's half a kg up. That's highly likely. You're talking Masters 1 100 pluses.
Depends on where she hit that 152, because in order to hit national or world records, you do have to hit them at certain meets with certain refs.
Sure. We know she's taken a couple of attempts at that before. That was Raw Nationals last year in, where else but Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep. So it likely is her own record to take.
Yeah. Again, it's been since 2019 that Lombard, Illinois has hosted this fantastic event. The lineup from 2019 was unbelievable. You know, the overall best lifter there, Amanda Lawrence. That's one of those names that carries weight with it. Like, it's a pretty cool name to begin with, and then you just go through the entire, career records and the career accolades for her, and you're like, oh my goodness. Like, the pull that she made at Sheffield this past year, I'll have to cheat and look it up in a moment, but one of the more insane pulls. So she put on at Sheffield a 272.5. She hit a 262.5, and it's just nonsensical to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But 2019, long time ago, kind of young Amanda Lawrence. Many of the top, IPF pros today came and dominated at 2019 Nats. Were you in the scene kind of at that point?
Not yet.
Okay,
I was still lifting.
Yeah.
I mean, I was lifting. I was just not national level
Sure.
at that time. But yeah, it was a insane nationals.
Eve Weatherwax has wanted to fight and got everything that she could out of that second as it fought back. Comes up in the 95 is good. Tracy Cogan's 80 keys. Should be good enough. She's got the 3 whites, and then Jacqueline Todd will will take that same weight. Subtotals continuing to round out. Again, you see kind of that math adding up on the very right-hand bottom of each little scoreboard identifying the lifter. That S means that it's the value of their best squat, and then the B, of course, is the value of their best bench. They add them up. Down below, that T means total. Maggie Jones on 100. Budged it, and then will lose it on the big old second there, or the third attempt, rather, of 100.
Are you a lifter that's able to shake your head and tell the spotters and others you don't have it?
I've just learned to. So fun fact about me is I took a couple of L's at my last meet, but was down a class. Like I say, I'm a Powerlifting America guy. Was an 83 for my first couple, and then at my first 74 meet, underperformed my squat and my bench and lost some off my total, and yet added 20 to my dots. Isn't it hilarious how that works? So that was the first time that I learned to really shake my head there. And I do think that it is a good gesture.
Yeah.
Some people are able to actually say something. They're able to actually say a word like, take it, help. Help,
Yeah.
I think, is a really good one.
Yeah.
But I think we have seen a lot of that today. What do you like to do?
I don't usually have the awareness to shake my head.
Situational awareness, right?
Yeah. Because I'm usually wanting to fight with everything I have.
Yeah.
But as a spotter and loader, it's much easier to catch a stationary bar or to help a stationary bar that a lifter is saying no or shaking their head no on than it is once it's coming back down.
Veronica Ham's retake on 110 came up like nothing. That was just 2.5 under her all-time competition best. Holly Scott on the right side of your screen, opening bench 90 kgs. 4 more bench openers on platform 4. And we will have some pretty big jumps coming from what everybody's put in on the table so far. Catherine Fannin, the low and slow descent, 117.5. Again, willing to hang out on her chest, and when she adds 5 keys, she says, still, yes, please, I will take that. This is a self-restraint load here from Mia Kane, but it's still a +5 to her comp best.
Why do you say it's a self-restraint?
Because I thought she was going to take the 122.5 because I've seen her take that before at the, again, like I said, in November, the Michigan State Championships, and that primetime session was, it was the all-star game of the state of Michigan, right? Mia there loaded 122.5. Here it's 120. Still a competition best. Let's see it.
Oh.
Sticky, tricky. Oh, boy. Okay, so technically the safest thing you could do would be to add just 2.5. that was maybe in the back for mine. I don't think that was ever really going to be the thing for her. And again, likely that call was made on the speed of the second, which we were really convinced by. Latoya Snell looking to take a 127.5. This will be the second heaviest bench, like we've said. Everybody still chasing the very bottom of the flight where Amanda Dahl resides. A retake here. Missed the 127.5. The second gets it again here for her third. Subtotal sitting on 350 keys. Latoya.
Oh, she's fighting.
Yeah, that's still coming up.
So sticky,
and
though.
now no
yeah.
longer. But it probably came up for longer than some would have expected. Comes up a tad empty on both the second and the third. I think the good news is that's only -5, right? So the 122.5 opening bench, still really big number, and she had a 500-pound squat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can take nothing away when you're putting a number up like that for the whole day. Amanda Dahl looking to take her record and just bump it up a little bit. Just add a little sprinkle on top.
337 pounds.
Yeah, you bet.
Some slight.
Some slight. Heaviest bench all day long. Is it going down at 153 keys? Why not?
What a great call. She had a few kilos left, but it was a little uneven right at that touch point. So I think it was a really good call.
Amanda Dahl absolutely cooking and hits that 153, the heaviest bench of the day. That means that we will move over to the deadlifts. They're going to get that combo rack all the way out of there, and we'll get that blanked off your screen in a few. Platform 3 deadlifts in about 10 minutes' time. On Platform 4, we're still bench pressing. The second attempt's coming. Joanne Sansbury, her second is 55 keys. She's the top of the flight here for Flight B on Platform 4. Got to have those elbows fully extended. That's your lockout that those referees are looking to say before they give you that rack command and you toss it back into the rack. One thing that kind of surprised yours truly at his first competition, nobody really necessarily tells you this, but the moment you get that rack command, your spotters are typically going to fairly aggressively ram that bar back into the hooks. Ram that bar into those J-hooks and pull it to the point it feels like almost at the same speed that they're pulling it with a missed lift, they are just hammering it back in to the point you'll hear like the clanking of the bar hitting those hooks. And you as a lifter might almost think, oh my gosh, did they think I failed it? Or does anybody think I failed it watching? It can be a little bit jarring your first time, but then again, it is also dependent on your individual spotter that you've got, how exactly they go about it technique-wise. You do always, when you come out for your bench press attempt, I don't think we've mentioned this so far on the day, you get the couple of moments, depending on how long you have on your attempt timer, to talk to that head spotter, that gentleman that's typically giving you the handoff. Or you will see, of course, some lifters opting for no handoff. Lynn will come up empty here on a 62.5. But the gentleman right here that you see in the very dead center of your screen, the conversation between lifter and that head spotter is tremendously important. They'll tell you exactly what they want on the handoff, and that is the obligation of the lifter to learn that too. You have to know that I must say exactly what I'm looking for. Valerie Sapp will opt for no handoff here. Takes a 72.5, unracks all herself. And again, the nice and controlled touch where you can find exactly that same touch point at all times and it's perfectly consistent. That is a huge boost typically to actual pressing power. It usually results in overall better pressing power. Deborah Smith ready for her second bench attempts. It's going to be 75 kgs for her. Valerie Sapp will head over to the table And as we cheat and look for platform 3, we see they've still got almost 8 minutes until they get to their deadlift openers. It's good because then we don't have to go cross-eyed trying to follow everything from both platforms all at once.
Don't count it out yet.
Yeah, I know. Deborah Smith, 75, a plus 5 kg jump. And now that was up and down and then some.
Yeah. Hard to tell from there if it was a jumped command and then she brought it back down, or did she get the press command, start the press, fail the press so it came back down. It was kind of just bouncy, funky.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully a jumped command and then be able to come back on our third. But
yeah. I think the kind of buzz term that I hear for all SBD, like it transfers to all comp lifts, and everybody says, okay, one of the most important cues for any of the 3, upper back tightness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Angela Abreu-Powell. And how does that show up for yourself, your competitors, and how do you cue it?
I think it has a lot to do with just stability through the lift. The barbell for each lift is kind of either on, pushing against, or pulling against your upper back. Right? It's sitting on your upper back on squat. It's pushing against your upper back for bench because it's over your upper back. Mm-hmm. And deadlift, it's pulling against it down. Yeah. So if your upper back stays tight, the bar is more stable. So you have more ability to create force and power.
Tracy Kogan wedging her way on in. She's taking a 7.5 jump. A healthy one at that. We like a quick press. That's one that I definitely could hear.
Yes.
It matters a little bit, don't you think, who your referee is and exactly, like, do they have a voice that just tends to be, like, lends itself to easier hearing? Are they a little on the quieter, a little on the louder side?
It definitely can. Obviously, like humans, right? Everyone's voice is a little different. Some carry better than others. Mm-hmm. Some are just louder than others. Also, why a lot of times.
Did you look at me when you said that?
I can also be very loud. So
sure. I think that's why they asked us.
Yes. It also helps that when we're only on one platform, we can also see the head ref's hand.
Yep.
So not only am I knowing that I'm hearing it, I'm seeing that I'm hearing it, which also makes it easier. Harder to do on bench press because as a lifter, you're staring at the ceiling.
Yep.
But it's very nice for us watching because it's easier to see if a lifter is jumping commands. And is that why they're getting the yellow, or is there something else going on?
Yep. Tammy Saunters. Great look at what I was just talking about here, to come up to that referee and tell him exactly what you want on your handoff, or to say that you don't want one. It's the obligation of the lifter, and everyone has their own little quirks to exactly what they'll ask for.
Yep.
Tammy's 90 kg second going down. And how about coming right up? Yes. So, you know, naturally what I've got to ask you next is, what do you ask when you get a handoff?
So I'm actually a no lift off girly. Okay. I like a self lift off, mainly for the reliability aspect. If I'm doing a self lift off, it is solely on me. If I mess up the lift off, I only have myself to blame.
Sure.
You can at some level meets, typically not at nationals. Nationals usually have pretty experienced spotters and loaders doing handoffs. But usually at your local scene, you can get spotters and loaders that are used to a lift-off style that you do not like. When I do get a lift-off, on the few rare occasions that I do, I like a very gentle lift-off, and I want it to be placed right above my chest. Typically, I tell them just up, meaning I just want them to help me get it up out of the rack.
And then their hands out, or their hands off, and you take it out.
Yes, I'll be the one to put it where I want it, because the last thing I want is for you to put it too far, and now I have to, like, try to catch my balance with the barbell.
Your dumbbell
position.
pullover type of deal?
Yeah. And the last thing I want is for them to drop it on me.
Of course. We've all been there when you ask your gym bro and gym broette, and they just kind of let go, like, I don't know, it's yours now.
Yep.
Tamara Guadagnoli, 97.5 is speedy. Angela Hobbs. Remember, she had that rocky third squat that we thought, it doesn't look so bad. And then she gets it overturned to post that successful squat on her third was awesome. Does not want to find herself in the same spot for bench. So a 112.5 is, can I call it a daunting opener? You okay with that?
Depending on what her training numbers are.
True.
If she's used to, hitting above 2 plates in the gym, 248 might not be too bad, but it can be.
Yeah.
For sure. But also knowing that squat was, not favorable for her today, may lead to wanting to take a little bit smaller of an opener. But maybe she'll prove us wrong right here.
That's a real quiet start, too. Measured grip, perfect on the rings. It's pretty even on the press. It's pretty quick on the speed. And then, of course, again, we're made to wait a few seconds.
Yep.
But, yes, it passes.
I think you're learning.
Yes.
To not jump the refs.
Oh, I've jumped all of the lights, like, practically. So I know, right? At some point, you're going to learn if you watch a sport long enough.
Yes.
Because a lot of the same things do happen fairly often.
Yes.
And we say it with love, too. Like, yeah, well, it is fairly repetitive. You do expect to see a lot of the same things as we go along. But then you get to learn it really well, and it doesn't take all that much to be, initiated, as it were.
It's our final second bench press.
Indeed it is. Then will be one more attempt for each of these lifters over on platform 4 and be done with bench for the whole session. Adrienne Lockhart with a 7.5 jump. Now, is that one wrist wrap only?
I think she's got 2.
I thought it was a watch or something
you're right.
on her left.
Yep.
I don't.
So maybe dealing with wrist pain on one side.
Yeah. Okay. Another one of those things. When it's not specifically prohibited in the rule book, the odds are it's going to be totally fine for you.
Yeah.
And that's probably something that many wouldn't even necessarily notice. You don't have to wear wrist wraps in the first place, right? You see, okay, this is Masters, Raw, Nationals, right? And that Raw, there's some wiggle room within there, right?
Yep.
Like you don't have to wear a belt, especially on the bench press. Many will choose not to wear a belt, right? How about you? Do you like a bench belt?
Depends on what bench style I'm benching. Light touch. Touch, I don't like a belt because I feel like it prohibits my my arch.
Can be.
But on a sink, I like the stability that it brings.
And then you don't have to wear wrist wraps, period. But you can actually for any of the 3 disciplines, right?
3. Yep.
So you can come out with your knee sleeves and wrist wraps for a deadlift, and no one can tell you not to.
Correct.
Not so many choose to, but you could.
I think if you are going to see knee sleeves, it's likely going to be at Masters because they're using it to keep their knees warm, keep the joints active,
sure.
Per se. And as we see here, she's coming out with, Cindy has knee sleeves on for her bench press. Likely using it more for warmth of the knees than actually using it to assist with the movement, but almost like we planned it.
That is what we call a perfect segue.
Yes.
Nicely done. Cindy Yeager, 60 keys to polish off her bench run, her subtotal to 180. There's a small chance on that. Yeah, she shook it off and said, nah, not quite. Those first couple of inches off the chest have been the number one sticking point, but in general, our exact pattern of really, really high percentages on squat passing and then third benches not so much has held through the day. On platform 3, on to deadlifts. Again, your Masters 190 kgs. Those are going to be all featured on Flight A, platform 3 on the left-hand side. Amelia Ferries on a 140. Maria Oakton up next on 145. And still on bench press, but we're nearing the end here on platform 4 on your right side.
Deborah looking for a little bit of redemption.
Agreed. This is a retake on the 75 keys. Maria Oakton with a buttery 145 opener. Deborah Smith back, and 75 wanted to take its revenge on her. That's inconsiderate.
It is.
I'm telling you.
I think somebody turned the gravity up.
Right? Something strange about that.
Just on platform 4, though.
Yeah. But the kind of strange thing will happen sometimes on third deadlifts, too. You're like, how on earth did this bar get glued on the ground? What's going on here?
I've definitely had my bar glued before.
And doesn't that feel just a little bit like unfair to you? Said, that can't be right.
It was only for my attempt, too. They definitely cleaned the glue off for the next person. Well,
that's what they do when they come and wipe the bar, I think. Right? Oh, Valerie Sapp. Not quite. That's all yellow cards there with the red lights. Suzette Escobar cranking through the opening deadlifts. She's really got the matching kit and everything because she's also got the pink deadlift sock. I love the black and pink SBD kit to her, and then just that made me even smile a little bit more. So minimum jump coming. There's actually a couple of minimum jumps heading, and one record looking to be taken by Jacqueline Todd in a couple of attempts here. Angela stalled and will not quite tack that extra 2.5 on. But again, it's just 2.5. You're not really, tanking a total to empty that third bench tank.
So lifters are allowed to fight in one position for up to 5 seconds. Once that 5 second hits, the head ref will then say to replace the bar for the spotters and loaders to help, because you are allowed to grind through a lift. Like we saw there, she was stuck, but she was still fighting.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that little bit of an extra power to power through. Other times, spotters and loaders have to help back in.
Tracy Kogan for a minimum jump of her own of 2.5 here. Right to the A7 logo. It will allow us a shameless plug if it should come up. We're going to do it anyway. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, plug's still there.
Yeah, well, come on. 2026 USA Powerlifting Masters Nationals, Day 2, presented by A7. Worth it. Worth the wait there. Jacqueline Todd, American record. Let's get it right now. 91 keys. So it's beyond a minimum jump. It's your average everyday 3.5 jump, right?
We are at exactly 200 pounds for Miss Jacqueline.
Don't you like that? The really round numbers.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Masters 3 lifter, benching 200 pounds.
Yeah, you bet. Few decades beyond you and I, and still achieving her all-time best strength. It's not quite a hair, a couple of inches from the top from the lockout. 91 kg was the number. Still 87.5 is her second bench that she will take. And her subtotal at 217.5 had a very respectable 130 squat as well. April Gray will open beyond 400 pounds. Already has a 400-pound lift on the board, too, and just scalds another. And, yeah, you start doing math on that 1,000-pound barrier, right?
Yeah.
We can all do the math there. That's when you get over 455 kilos, that's when you know you're beyond 1,000 pounds as well, and that's kind of another one of those mental barriers. Not that everybody should be obsessed with the numbers, but it matters. It's just so cool.
Gives you goals.
Yeah.
Gives you things to shoot for.
That 1,000-pound club, right? It is an exclusive club. No matter your age, no matter your gender and body weight, your age division, this, that, and the other thing. But more so out of these Masters women, right, it is a kind of lifetime achievement award. Already on the second attempts here of Flight A on Platform 3, Julie Alec. And nice looking 132.5. Holly Scott on 100 keys. Back on into the rack. Chalk on the upper back. Yay, nay, do you like it? Do you train with it?
Yes. I do it for both squat and for bench. The last thing I want to do is be able to blame the slipping on the bench.
Yep.
Chalk will decrease your risk of that.
I've still never trained with it. I might need to get on that wave. I tell you why. Because I'm a 74 who can sweat with the absolute best of super heavies. I
would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that might be, unlock a little something extra that I didn't know I had. I'm coping as I missed my last third bench. Tamara Guadagnoli. Will stall. A +5 was always going to be aggressive. But the middle bench there, the second attempt on 112.5, good enough. Bigger deadlift jumps. We expect to see him. We've already got one happening on the left side of your screen on Yamuna. We'll set up for a 12.5 from her first to second.
Sticky at the knees.
Yeah. So it's, remind me here, chalk on the legs and baby powder on the hands, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. You will never drop a bar that way.
That's all I've learned, I think, in this sport.
It's the exact opposite.
Yes. Yes, of course. Please do not do that and erase it from your memory banks. Men in Black, the little neuralizer. Yes. Angela Hobbs. Hey, look, a bench press. 117.5. Hit on commands. Yes. Did the hips come off? I wonder, or is it up and down?
Looked a little up down to me. Yeah.
That's what you got with the blue card.
It was a really good fight.
Yeah.
A lot of side to side movement. I only saw one little baby hiccup down, but still a strong lifter.
Of course. If that had passed 2-1, I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought maybe perhaps her hips came up too, but that is just so tough to judge anatomically, right? I mean, sometimes you just have a easier or more difficult time keeping them on the bench.
This head angle is also very hard for us to know. Just because the lifter is pushing through their legs and their hips raise, like you were saying, does not mean that their butt actually leaves the surface of the bench.
Off the bench, yeah. Those 3 points of contact, right, that you got to have on the bench, remind me, besides the hips, it is
shoulders and head. But I believe with the USAPL now, head is not mandatory. So
only
it was
other
for a long, long time, but I don't think it is anymore.
And then only other thing I'm referring to also, the feet.
Oh, yes.
Feet once in a while are tricky, and they start moving around and shuffling, and that can be cause for no lift as well.
Yes. They are allowed to move on bench. They can slide, but they are not allowed to be replaced back. Like, you're not allowed to lift your foot up and put it back where it was.
Yep. And the final bench presses. So they clear that combo rack all the way out of there. And as they toss it, we will get platform out of there for you. Platform 4 out of there for you. Oof, that was brutal. Again, can you tell you got up early this morning? Oh, Taylor Beebe on a 175. Cash. All deadlift, everything from here on out. Platform 3's second attempts. Kamaria Bain, 392.5. We'll have Emily Vanderhey with a chance on her second deadlift to go over a 1,000-pound total, which will make her one of just 2 so far on the day to secure that. Kamaria Bain. She's got the second pull easy there, and now we blanket. We do get that nice little wider view, get a little bit more in the screen of just what it looks like around platform 3. All right, on Emily's pull here, she can jump beyond 1,000 pounds. Oh, my goodness. I'm unnerved.
That was crazy.
Well, if she wants to go in and put a 25-kilo jump in there, I would say, more power to you. Like, you go ahead. If you're second, again, that's a second attempt. That's more like a second-to-last warm-up from a lot of people in the warm-up room. I've been in warm-up rooms like that. Somebody is just, like, having that kind of day, and you're like, I don't know. Do I want to even talk to him? Do I want to throw him out of their groove? Just obliterates the 177.5, and we expect to see another big jump in for her at the scorer's table soon. Sam's got a big second pull on 190. And Sam will also have a chance to pull for a 1,000-plus total should she take a 10 kg jump at least. I think that's well within the cards, right?
Yep.
April Gray already beyond there. This is 460 kilos her total right now with just her opening deadlift. It would jump up to 470 with a successful attempt here. Such a quick and a quiet setup, and nuking the second same as the first. So I suppose then the next thing I should ask you is about setting up for deadlift. There are the conventional and the sumo stances that wage a war against each other, right? Those two wolves that are just constantly clashing. But are there universal setup cues that just kind of work, that are just kind of best practice?
Universal is tough because everybody's deadlift setup is going to look different, feel different, be different. I think the biggest one is you want to have all of the tension out of the bar before you actually push all the way through the floor. If you are a lifter, that is called pull the slack. Mm-hmm. Lift is good.
Look at her coach lifting on. I think he jumped about the height of the entire backdrop that we have back there.
Yes.
That was really impressive. You want to measure like the vertical on that off of film. That's somebody get that man at the combine. A successful first third pull, as it were. Oh, and then I think a business decision made there.
Last second business decision.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad one. Her 150 was a tough pull.
Sure.
I watched her do it, and it looked like pretty much all she had in the tank. I think she thought about going for it all and then realized that it's simply not worth it.
Yeah, it was a 2.5, right?
Yeah.
You're not missing out on a ton from it. Rachel Chernick yanking up the 155. Wants to crawl up the thigh. The lockout probably not going to be there, right?
Yeah.
The grip was failing. Well, do you like to set the bar toward the very bottom of the fingertip? I know some can say that it prevents as much rolling.
Depends. I know that's a very physical therapy answer for me.
Yeah.
From me, but everything is it depends. Again, slow with the knees, but a beautiful lockout.
Agreed.
But as far as position in the hands, I think when I do mixed grip,
yeah,
I am a little bit lower in my hands simply because I'm trying to get as much length as I can. Mm-hmm. Hook grip is a little bit different because you are limited by the length of your thumb.
Yes.
But if I have an athlete that has a propensity to drop a barbell, then I'm probably going to have them put it a little bit higher in their hands so that they have that little bit of extra wiggle room if the bar does start to slide.
Jenna Menschhofer, the somewhat rare, although in this circumstance totally makes sense, minimum deadlift jump here. Still up to 165. Hits the gas in the middle. And the pedal was on the metal all the way to the end. Couple of back-to-back lifters, both taking 165. 3 makes and 2 misses so far out of these third deads. Maria Oakton trying to get herself on the correct side of history as well to blow her total beyond 400 keys. This would be all the way up for 405 if the refs like what they see. Yes.
I love watching the lifters get excited as they walk off the platform. The little fist bumps, the jumps, the screams. It's so much fun to watch all these athletes celebrate their accomplishments on the platform.
Absolutely. And we haven't seen any good passy outies yet, knock on wood.
Yeah, let's not.
Right. Suzette Escobar, another 7.5 on for her to run the total to 440. Lean back and down. Do you think you coordinate a celebration if you're on the national stage, or do you think you just do what first comes to you? I think some truly have, like, one in mind, like, oh, I want to hit this.
There's so many times that I've been like, all right, if I hit my third attempt, I'm going to do this. And then every time I get out there and I never do it.
You just can't bring yourself to. Or you can't remember.
I just get so hyped in the moment that you're like, that thought was out the window.
Uh-huh.
Good fight from Taylor.
Yeah, on her left knee, it wanted to catch that barbell. I thought it kept on moving the whole time. Give her a 180. It's a 410 subtotal. you start to see, if you're following along on LiftingCast, once more, liftingcast.com, 2026 USA Powerlifting Masters Nationals, you start to see the forecasted placings rounding out. That's everybody throughout the flight and where they rank in terms of their age division and weight class. Maria Bain here on 185, a +10, is going to give her everything she wanted out of it and more, but she looks like she's got them all. Absolutely. And again, throws up one more cloud of chalk. And not baby powder, I'm told.
Yes, please not baby powder.
Right. I knew it was going to be something big. It's a 17.5 jump. It's going to be tied for the second heaviest pull all day among these platforms in this whole session. Emily Vanderhey lining up to the 195 kg.
Not only is this a very big jump from seconds to third, it is a pull from second to first.
You want to talk about a lot riding on one monster pull.
Oh my gosh, I think there was more in the tank.
Absolutely. And Emily walks off done and dusted with the 195. It's 2.5 on her all-time best. You would not have known that in any kind of way. In last summer, competed in Powerlifting United National Championships. I think she's doing just fine over here in USAPL as well. I'm telling you, it's that grungy new kid on the block. You been to a Powerlifting United meet?
Mm-mm.
It's really different. There's a very different atmosphere to it. Of course, you do get the deadlift bar. You
Yeah.
do have untested options typically for entering within it. It's just an entirely different feel from the moment you walk in the room, but can be very fun as well.
April also looking to pull from second to first with this pull right here.
You bet. To launch all the way into the stratosphere.
Big ol' smile.
To just laugh to yourself like, ha, ha, of course it was. Just that easy. And a 475 kilo total. She can smell that national championship. And in fact, because of the attempt put in here, she secured it.
Yep.
Wow.
And that pulled her past the lifter before her.
Yeah.
So she beat
Emily Vanderhey, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. With that pull. So that's where those final attempts will come in, making those last minute changes depending on what your lifter before you did.
They will sort it all out. And this will sort us out for the whole flight. Sam pulling on the 200 keys looked easy from here. It's easy for us to say. But the bottom of the flight, the monsters come out. 200. And that jumped her over 1,000 pounds as well. A 455 kg total was good enough to crack her over that 1,000 pound threshold. 455 kg, pulling her into third place. But we crown champions. That's what we're really sort of here to do, right? You want hardware. You want to walk away with one of those big checks that are over at that awards table, right? And we will crown April Ray out of the Masters 190s. We begin the Flight B deadlifts here on Platform 3. Deborah Souza first. Deborah's 107.5, going up and down, and no issue there. Deborah cracking her total now over 600 pounds with the 272.5. Sonia Stevenson on approach. Again, your lifetimes of strength. Look at this camera frame here. Masters 4s and 5s taking the platform at the national level and continuing to display that value of the lifetime of strength. Nice.
Nice little dance move. Skipping herself off the platform.
I think that's too authentic to have been choreographed
Yes.
ahead of time.
If you wanted to know what her personality was, you just saw it.
Very, very nice. That is a combined 152 years on this earth, and much of that spent with the iron in hand. Vicky Thrasher, 102.5. Christine Bellis, 130. Let's see 6 whites, shall we please?
All 6 white lights.
It took a while.
It did.
Tell you the truth, it did. It was worth the wait, though. On opening deadlifts, too, you for the most part expect it. When it's time to empty that tank on thirds, they get a little bit more tough. But I tell you, the conversion percentage of thirds from Flight A or Platform 3 was fantastic. He had only 2 misses.
Across all deadlifts for Flight A. That's impressive.
That is even more awesome. I'm glad you said that. So no misses on the command at all. Now, a very simple command, right? But yes, all first and seconds completely perfect. All green, everything. It looks so aesthetic when you're following along on these scoreboards. And just feels good when we can celebrate everybody's successes so easily. Veronica Ham on 165. Still openers on both sides of your screen here. Jennifer Stimson, 130.
Miss Eve is coming out 165 kilos on platform 3. With Miss Shelley coming out on platform 4. 165 kilos all the way to the top for Miss Eve. All the way to the top for Miss Shelley. All 6 white lights. We see it again?
Yeah, we should be so lucky. We told you, like, pretty early on in the day. It's masters, right? These masters of iron. And been on display. Maggie Jones opens on the 170 in the middle of the flight over there for Flight B on your left. And Jessica Standerwick with her opener. Also, middle of the flight. We're really close to synced up now. Just kind of shook out that way. Yeah. We hope to see some, really picture-perfect, like, frame-to-frame pulls. Oh, I thought that was going to be close. Amanda Dahl taking just a little bit longer on her setup. I think she earned it. She, benched a 153, a monstrous record.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Here we are, knee sleeves on deadlift.
I'm telling you, it's your prerogative. Nobody's going to tell you you can't.
The only rule about it is if you do wear them, your socks cannot touch them, and your singlet cannot touch them. So you do have to have deadlift socks on the deadlift that come up to your knee. The only exception is if you're wearing knee sleeves, you have to have that small little gap.
Janice Francis, she's secured herself a couple records on the day as well among those Masters 4s. 70 years of age and still gaining on her all-time strength. 145 is her opener. And Latoya Snell on 195.
That's a massive opener.
Yeah.
And we still have 2 more openers on that platform.
Yeah, don't you worry. She's not at the very bottom of the flight.
That's crazy. These are some strong women.
Uh-huh. And Latoya's total right now sitting on 545, and there's more to be had there, but the placings shaking out is going to be really, really interesting. I mean, if Mia Kane goes 3 for 3, I think that's going to place a ton of pressure on Latoya. Mia's opener on 200 works for us. Sarah McGann, 147.5. All white everything. Catherine Fannin, she will be one of those bottom of the flight types. That means you pull last with the 205 keys. And she could have jumped off of the floor, held that thing, came back to earth with it. Jeez.
Easy peasy.
What kind of jump do you do when that feels like that? I've never been, and I kind of like to open a little bit light on deadlift, like maybe 90% or so. But when you have a feeling like that of your opener, what do you do with it?
Jump.
I guess that's the correct answer, right? Is like whatever you want, load it up there.
Yep.
Wow.
My guess would be somewhere between 15 and 20.
Deborah Souza, her second is +10. Jennifer Rosario heading down to the bottom of platform 4. We got 2 more to pull here. At the bottom, you got a couple of Masters 2 lifters. That's the 50 to 59 age bracket, and those are Jennifer Rosario and Leanne Delcourt. Leanne's going to pull last out of the flight. Who says that your, placing in here is just determined by your age only? Well, I mean, because you proceed through based on lightest to heaviest weight lifted, nobody cares how old you are.
Right.
Leanne got great game face. So tough. As she'll yank the 177.5.
I don't think that could have moved faster if anyone tried. It's the fastest I think I've seen that move.
That's outstanding. Wow. I've seen some lift so quickly that you get a little bit off balance at the top because you want to rock onto your heels sometimes. As that bar is, carried out front of you, right? It's technically an anterior loaded exercise, a deadlift, right? But I think huge jumps are in play for some who weren't necessarily expecting them. But when you show up on the day and it's your best day ever and you have your absolute best strength with you, you might as well act like it.
Yes.
I suppose.
It's a fun feeling.
Uh-huh. Layla Rivera jumps 12.5 keys, and Laverne Gray takes another national record should she hit the second on 83 keys. Just got to get the down. A little eccentric control and a showboat to polish it off.
Yeah, I was a little worried with that kind of almost like shimmy up that she had there, that she was going to get called for something.
Right.
But 3 white lights, she earned every right to party.
It is something of a party around here, isn't
it?
Right?
I mean, the deadlift has hit the floor, so the party has started.
Yeah, well said. Vicky Thrasher 110 as we are back up. Laverne Gray was at the very top of the second attempts. And so, again, she's going to have another attempt to just continue to boost those Masters 4 records. Veronica
I will be
Ham.
interested to see where they go because I don't know that she had a whole lot left. Mm-hmm. And she seemed really happy with it.
Puts in 85 at the table. So that's, again, your average every day plus 2 kilo.
Yeah.
Her prerogative. Eve Weatherwax on a 175. And Jennifer Stimson on a 130. Came pretty close to syncing them all up. 3 and 3 make 6. White lights. Very nice. So your forecasted totals and placings are beginning to take shape. Again, the total, just the sum of each of your best attempt among each of the 3 disciplines added up together. Kelly Tilsdale on your right after Maggie Jones on your left, I thought had probably lost the grip. Was that it?
I think so, yeah. I was a little distracted by Kelly. By Kelly's lift because her right hand was out pretty far from the bar. It looked like her natural stance and positioning, but I was distracted by it because it was a little bit different than what you typically would see.
Mm-hmm. If there's ever a sport where you don't have to be afraid to be different from everybody else, this is quite literally one of the best sports on earth for that. You know what I mean? You mentioned it really early on in the day, inclusivity, and I'm trying to think, was that in terms of the commands for like the audially impaired, right? Yeah. Absolutely. This is a sport where it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you come from. There's only really a few things you're judged on, right? And the weight on the bar and completing those technical standards, that's all we care about.
Yep.
Michelle Chapman's 150. Nice and smooth as ever.
I think the other thing about powerlifting that's fun, talking about inclusion, is everyone is so supportive.
Yes.
Especially at this scene, right? You're having all of these lifters cheering for each other. You're making friends in the back that you are then going to follow up with and try to compete with again. Look forward to seeing next year. And it just becomes a big party. It almost becomes like a little family within powerlifting that you're having, especially at the local scene. But at nationals, too, it's really fun because you get to see the friends that you haven't seen since last nationals.
Yeah. LaToya Snell, she's looking back. She gets the 2 whites from her left side. You had 1 blue come in. And her opener was admittedly tricky, and then that second one doesn't leave a ton in the tank. Man, with national championships on the line, maybe you can dig a little bit further than you wanted to. But I'm telling you, Mia Kane, a chance arguably to put this out of reach among your 100 pluses. Takes 1 look back over the left shoulder before pulling a plus 12.5. Quick setup and a lightning pull for the early part, then a slow and steady top of the lockout. Yes, okay.
Yeah, she's just trying to inch her way up that podium. So that was actually a pull to move her from 3rd to 2nd. So I'll be interested to see how this 3rd goes because the lockout was pretty tricky. Is she going to go for something that is going to keep her in 2nd, or is she going to try to pull for the win?
Yeah, there's a lot of options within there. You never want to count on somebody missing a deadlift right in front of you. If you need to pull for a national champion, yeah, that's a big risk that you run.
Yep.
Catherine Fannin at the bottom of the flight is where the monsters come out. 217.5. Count it. And she's on a 525 kg total. That is a 4th place total right now. You're going to talk about stacked. It's our 100 pluses for this Flight B. Jessica Standerwick will lock that 157.5. That's a very choreographed belt flick. I can tell you that
I thought that on the first.
Oh, yeah, we all practiced that, right? And, yes, I did notice it, and then gives a little bit more oomph on the second. Deborah Souza with the game face up at the top. Hits the down command. Got it. Emily's 157.5 to follow. That's roughly been in line with the jumps that we've been seeing. 7.5 to 10. Maybe for the huge deadlifts at the bottom, 12.5 pretty much max.
Mm-hmm.
I did just see Mia Kane put in only a 215. That's only plus 2.5 from her 2nd to 3rd. Tells you about that lockout and how she felt about it.
Yeah.
Sonya's,
I do think I misspoke as well. It looks like she did pull herself into 1st with that. So taking that 2.5 kilos is just going to solidify. So I'll be interested to see, 1, if she does come out, and 2, if she does attempt it, being that she's already in 1st and 2nd was heavy.
It's going to be, in all likelihood, down to her and LaToya Snell.
Yep.
The forecasted total is exactly the same. Now, 2 lifters total exactly the same weight, right? What then happens to decide a national champion?
So at that point, it is down to what they weighed in at. Mm-hmm. So body weight. The lifter with the least body weight, the lower body weight, will take precedence over the lifter that has the heavier body weight. If, by chance, the lifters happen to have the same body weight and the same total, it will come down to lot number.
I wanted to give you that hypothetical.
Yep.
So really, lot numbers, as much as I joke about them, as much as I lament them, it matters.
It does. And it's hard because it's random.
Of course. Leanne Delcourt just continuing to occupy her bottom of the spot in the flight. And with gusto, hits the 190. Layla Rivera lining up 3rd deadlifts on platform 3. And we're up at the top of platform 4 with their 3rd deadlifts as well. Now Laverne Gray to extend her own record. Layla Rivera leaning back. I see no issue. And a plus 10. I'm
going to watch close because Mia and LaToya have the same forecasted total.
Yes.
I'll be interested to see if LaToya ups her final deadlift.
Decides to go and change the attempt that she put in.
To try to do 210 so that way she can push Mia to have to take 217.
Yeah.
Because
or
if
any
LaToya,
of them could eke out even more if they wanted to.
Right. If LaToya makes hers, Mia has to make hers to win.
Yes.
To pull herself back into 1st.
Yep. Maggie Jones missed a plus 7.5. Looked like she came back. Lost it on grip last time. Sees this time will go her way. Good enough. pushing that total up of 425 keys, securing just under a 400-pound pull. This will go over 400 pounds. Eve Weatherwax and everybody the rest of the way, pulling beyond 400 pounds on the left of your screen. And to jump the subtotal, just something didn't quite feel right. Yeah.
Sometimes you just run out of gas.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Of course. I think I'll usually take a moment, let myself get hideously rounded over in a disgusting position, which then feels awful.
Yes.
And then I'll dump it. Is that what I'm supposed to do? I don't know.
I'll tell you, there's times where I pull a deadlift, and you'll get to that spot, and you'll just be like, whoa, and it'll just go right back down. And if it's going back down, don't fight it, because it's not safe.
Right.
And it's not going to count in competition anyway. So practice how you play.
Yeah, it's way easier said. It's much more difficult to
do.
But yes, of course, that's for self-preservation purposes. That is the right thing. Carrie Varco, 197.5.
Still moving. Oh.
Yeah, but about to the knee, and then becomes a lot more difficult from there sometimes. Kelly Tisdale pulls real quick. Her speed's awesome, and then towards the top wanted to stall on her, but I think she's got it all. Oh, what'd you see?
So so red cards are for posture lockout. Blue card is for bar path. I wonder if she threw the bar down. I don't know what card that is. I do know it's a newer rule in the USAPL where you have to control the bar all the way down, and you can get reds for accelerating the bar down or dropping the bar. It could have also been a little bit of support on the thighs.
All right. Shelly Cole on 155, and on the left side of your screen, we're about to crown a champion. Whether it should be consecutive misses here, or whether it should be consecutive makes, somebody within these next two attempts is going to secure themselves a 100-plus Masters 1 National Championship.
So currently it's Amanda.
Yes.
In first. Amanda had the unfortunate spot of pulling first. So now if these next two lifters are to miss, Amanda is the winner. So it really is all they've got right now.
All comes down to this. LaToya Snell on the 207.5. She's going to look back.
I'm holding my breath.
Yeah.
2-to-1 good lift.
And so it should only be right that we get one more.
Yes.
Yes, please, and thank you. Mia Kane will pull her way into the history books if the 215 wants to come up on her. Janice Francis on your right.
So she's secured podium no matter what.
Yes.
She's already in third. That is secured with her second attempt.
You bet.
If she makes this, which is only 2.5 kilos more than her second attempt, she will pull herself from third to first. She will be your national champion.
Mia Kane, do you have that last couple of inches in you?
Holding my breath. It looked a little soft to lock out.
I know it's close. I know it's tight.
No! 2-to-1. Now it is a 2-to-1 lift, so her or her coach can go contest if they feel it was a good lift.
Could you imagine, Brandis?
And overturn herself into first.
Could you imagine? That's immediately what you got to do.
Yeah. I think everything on the line, I think it's worth going and contesting. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
And you maintain third. The best they say is first. Or yes, and you pull yourself back into first.
Yeah. Unreal. Catherine Fannin still wants a 500-pounder just for the exclamation mark. She appears that she's got it too. To think you go beyond 500, you pull at the very bottom of the flight, you give us that exclamation mark, and you're going to be a tad bit out of the podium is just absurd. But that will be a fourth-place finish for Catherine Fannin, regardless of what else should happen.
Yes.
Between if Mia Kane, again, presumably has headed over to that jury table. All right. That means that we just have Platform 4, and the final pull will belong to Leanne Delcourt. Before we get there, 4 more pulls total. Jessica Standerway up next here. This is 160 keys. Emily Vetta, the same thing. Jennifer Rosario, 167.5. Leanne already with a healthy lead on the total. already knows where she's going to finish, but that extra plus 10, I mean, come on. Jessica will be, you don't want to call it dejected because I don't think that's the answer, but not thrilled either as it's at the knees and stalls.
Yep.
Not quite the same, the aggressive belt flick, but...
not that there's ever a fun time to miss a lift, but if you're going to miss a lift, third deadlift is the way to go.
Agreed. And a minimum jump at mats, so only missing 2.5 off the total. Emily's pull here is 160. Left off the ground through the midpoint, not an issue.
Nice little smile at the top.
And I'm told you're supposed to have fun out here. You've traveled a long way. They come from all over when they come. They come to Lombard, Illinois in the Chicagoland area, and they come for 1,000 different reasons. This might be to better your total. It might be for just the personal growth. It might be for the experience of nationals for the first time. It might be for 1,000 other things. It might be for the community of the sport. Doesn't matter what you're here for. All that matters now, what's on that barbell to finish off the day for you? Jennifer Rosario, dig in the tank. I think it's empty, but I think that she's got the final pull secure.
3 white lights. No better way to end your nationals experience than a 3-for-3 deadlift day.
Leanne already knew that she was going to be the winner of the Masters 2s, the 90 kgs. Again, that's Master 2 50 to 59 age group, right, as Jennifer was her head-to-head competition. But again, this is for the gravy.
Yeah.
This is 10 more that why not take it when it's in front of you the way that her first exploded up and her second floated too. Leanne Delcourt will have our final pull of the session. It's a lifetime deadlift best, and so there's never a better time than right here and now.
With room left in the tank.
And she gnashed her terrible teeth, and she roared her terrible roar. This is where the wild things are. That was a spectacular 200 Ks. Another little mic drop.
Yeah.
Just to end that flight off with a little bit more oomph, a little bit more pizzazz to it. What a session.
Don't let the energy drop, though.
Agreed. That's true.
So we still have a whole flight.
Yeah. Deborah Smith will be up towards the top of it, and Angela Hobbs to follow, then Joanne Sansbury.
So on the deadlift, the lifters only have one command.
You bet.
It is only down. So
hard to miss more so on commands with deadlifts than others.
Yes.
So they say.
Still can do it.
Yeah.
Get excited and finish your lockout and drop it or put it down.
I'm glad you said that. I do think that that's more the most common reason for missing on there would be you do get too excited.
Yeah.
You're at the top and you want to celebrate. You want to throw your hands up and bounce around like we've been seeing a lot of our best celebrations. Yeah, for sure. I do love that the smartwatches have become more and more commonplace, accepted in competition. Again, it's another one of those things. There's no rule against it. I would always be just in some way hesitant of scratching the thing. And those are expensive.
I mean, in theory, the barbell should always be in your hands, right?
Well, I hope so.
Not on your wrist.
Here's the thing. We really hope so, but we've seen funny things, right? If you've been around the sport long enough. Yeah. I also think of some people will pull with like a smart ring on, like the Oura rings and those kind of things. I always think, man, that is a risk that you're taking. Is it not? Joanne Sansbury, 110. Cash. Jacqueline Todd up next here, and Cindy Yeager will take the same pull at 115. Continuing to crown champions over here in the Chicagoland area. From the Weston Lombard, we still come to you live with USA Powerlifting Masters Nationals Day 2. Just hit noon Central Time, so 1 p.m. now Eastern. And again, our second session of the day, scheduled for a 2 p.m. start. Men's 100 to 140 plus competitors will be up for the afternoon session.
So I mentioned earlier they have a 2-hour weigh-in. So our second session is getting ready to weigh in / just started weigh-ins.
Yep.
So we are keeping things rocking and rolling.
Cindy Yeager with the deadlift ritual. And then you sit the hips and pull on a 115. Doesn't have to be complicated. What's your own setup ritual like?
Very basic. I don't have anything extra that I do. I walk out, set my feet. I do kind of stand under the bar at like I'm going to do a conventional and then put my feet out for sumo, since I am a sumo puller.
Yeah.
But nothing crazy. I used to do a little shimmy to remind myself to keep my arms long, but have since let that piece go and just set my feet and grab the bar.
Tammy Straw sets her 122.5 on fire. One thing I really like to do in my ritual, and I am seeing it from, primarily those who pull sumo, but it can be useful even for conventional. Finding a landmark on the bar to put your shin up to. Many will use the ring itself, right? Whether it's kind of the very inside of your shin, like on your calf, or the very outside, or in the middle.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. Just pick that landmark and then line up to it the same every time.
Consistency is key for all of these lifts.
Right. I will also be the top-down setup kind of guy. You hear people talk about, right? So I take the very big breath up at the top, shrug my shoulders up, then down in the kind of anti-shrug motion that also is meant to lengthen the arms, and then set the hips down, get the fingertips on it just enough to get the bar in the hands, and then pull. Holly Scott's 137.5. I would love you, Brandis, to go more into grips. We introduced, I think briefly, hook grip and mixed grip. Have you pulled hook yourself? Have you ripped your thumbs to shreds?
I started out my lifting career as an Olympic lifter.
Really?
So I did do hook grip exclusively.
Yeah,
right?
for
Because
sure.
it's much safer with Olympic lifting. That bar is moving a lot. You don't want it to slide out of your hands at all because the bar can come down on your head, neck, whatever the case may be. So for a safety standpoint, you hook grip.
Yep.
So then when I started doing powerlifting, I continued hook gripping.
Yeah.
Which, for those of you that don't know, hook gripping is when you grab the barbell, your thumb actually wraps under the bar, and then your fingers grab your thumb. So you almost have like a little hook to grab onto so the bar doesn't slide, hence why it's called hook grip.
Nice.
And then mixed grip is when you see a lifter put one hand over, one hand under, one hand supinated versus pronated, however you want to say that. That way when the bar does start to roll, inherently the bar does roll, it is cylindrical. It's rolling into one hand and out of the other, so it's kind of actually stopping itself from rolling. I find that if you can do it, hook grip is a great option, but you're holding onto your own thumb, creating a lot of friction at your thumb, and the knurling of the bar hurts, and the weight is pulling down exclusively on your thumb.
Yes.
So it is not a comfortable pull, and not everyone can tolerate that.
Yep.
So mixed grip is much more easily approached.
And we've really seen that play out among nearly all of our female competitors opting for the mixed grip so far. It could change a tad with the heavyweight men's, when we get to the second session of the afternoon, but I don't know, not so much. If hook grip were always more secure, then I think that you would see it nearly at all times on the biggest stages, right, as we are here. But clearly, for some, as Adrian's going to get some explanation, I think, from nether regions of the platform before she's allowed to start, she said, hey, what's going on here? But if it were always more secure, I think you would see that. Because you see it's individual like everything else in the entire sport. Some will not have their strongest pull with one specific grip.
We've talked a couple of times about how anatomy plays into how everyone is setting up, what lifts they're completing, why they look certain ways. It also depends on hand size. Right?
Yeah.
The barbell is a set diameter. I can't change that. It's the same for men. It's the same for women in powerlifting. So typically with men, it is easier because your hands are typically bigger as a male to get into that hook grip position. As females, we typically have smaller, daintier hands, if you want to call them that. It can be really hard to get your thumb all the way around that bar in a way that will help you actually leverage your hand, right? So that's also something that comes into play, speaking on why maybe we'll see it more in the afternoon session versus the morning session. Not always the case, though.
I fully agree. I was laughing as you said, and I kind of mimed to my own hand. I have a notoriously small hand, and there were times early on getting into powerlifting, 3-4 years ago, I was dejected, defeated at times. I was saying, well, I've got these small hands. I'm just never going to be an elite deadlifter. And then, of course, I at some point had that, look in the mirror, that stern talk with myself of, you're defeating yourself before you pull on that bar. That's absurd.
Yeah.
When you learn to, no matter what you've got to do to modify your techniques, what works for you, then there's, just in almost all of us, there is a higher ceiling on our ability than we believe that there is.
Yes.
I think that is, this is one great place to find it out, but just training in your, your home gym for the years and years, the, progress, you know what I mean? Almost all progress happens off of the platform that people don't really talk a ton about. That's where the strength is built. That's where the size over the many, many years is accumulated, right? The pure hypertrophy has to build up for a long time. And even for myself, too, just having to modify a little bit and now embracing that hook grip a little bit, it's really helped me as somebody who just assumed, oh, I've got small hands. I'm never going to be a great deadlifter.
Yep.
Angela Hobbs at 115. She will, again, keep that controlled negative, RDL style.
Yes. She's had quite a day today. She almost nearly bombed out on squat and then was able to actually get herself overturned into a successful squat, the only overturn we've seen so far.
Still all day between both of our flights of each platform.
Yep.
Yeah. And I remain surprised by that. Again, I expect that Mia Kane went over to the judges and talked about that. And we know that they were looking at her lockout, right? Whether it be the knees or the hips. Did you ever become aware of the Powerlifting America rule change with the shoulders behind the deltoids becoming a factor of lockout? Or, pardon us, the deltoids behind the barbell. So, some would try and fudge their lockouts a little bit by rounding the upper back a little bit, allowing the shoulders to slump forward, but having still say, oh, well, my hips and my knees are locked. Mm-hmm. It is a fascinating and tremendously difficult to officiate rule change over there, like you might imagine. I'm sort of glad, again, I say this tongue-in-cheek, to not see it in other federations.
Yeah.
I said, if you know a referee crew that can very accurately judge that and equally enforce it among people no matter their anatomy, I said I'd be very surprised. But
I think it's easy to see if a lifter is extended and locked out behind the bar. It's hard when they're kind of over top of the bar to know where their shoulders are.
Some are almost perfectly over top of the bar, right? The size of the legs can kind of determine how far it's got to, come away from you. Jacqueline Todd. And, again, that's one of the reasons why you see lifters putting the baby powder. Yes, I like to make the joke about chalk, but that is one of the reasons, and the biggest reason why you see the lifters putting baby powder on the legs is the friction, right, of the hands. Everybody tears up their inner thigh. No matter if you are a conventional or a sumo puller, it can happen to you, but certainly sumo more so, right? I know I've got my own right now, my little raspberries on either side.
It also just helps with friction. So if we're decreasing the friction, we're less likely to have any support on the thighs. So it's almost eliminating one of the technical flaws that you could have. But you run the risk of, if I'm putting baby powder on my thighs, or my coach is putting baby powder on my thighs, if some gets on my hands, now my hands might be a little slick. Yeah. I have made the grave mistake of putting baby powder on my legs and then proceeding to slap my legs before I deadlifted.
Oh, no.
So now you have baby powder on your hands, which doesn't bode well for a deadlift.
Of course.
So things turned out okay. I made the lift, but
good.
Not a mistake you want to make.
No. And so I do think most are advantaged to have a coach put it on you. But that first time that you ever get that, it's a rite of passage, but it's a little strange, definitely, the feel of it. Valerie Sapp pulling on a 145. Locking that second and running the total up to 345 keys. Holly Scott will pull next. Tamara Guadagnoli up to 150. And at the very bottom of the flight, Adrienne Lockhart waits on deck. She's sitting in the pole position right now. 450 kg total and probably already in a spot where she can't be caught.
What a fun position to be in.
Right? Absolutely.
Not speaking from experience.
Oh, me neither. Don't you worry. Now, I was the only 74 in my last, again, a Powerlifting America competition, right? And I thought, I almost kind of wish I would have had somebody to just, gauge against.
That's true. It is fun to have competition.
Of course.
It is fun to have to perform.
Yeah.
And not just get to.
Yeah. That's very well said. And then, you kind of collect your medal, like, sheepishly.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I won my weight class. I sure hope so.
Yes. I might have been the only one, but I still won.
Yeah.
Not the case here, though. She has competition.
No, true. But way, way ahead.
Yeah.
Again, that's out of your Masters 2s. All 100 pluses for this Flight B. Tracy Kogan. Tracy's 155 pull is a 7.5 jump to run her total up to 400 keys. That's another nice round number. Conversion is, 881 and some change in pounds.
Mm-hmm. So the head ref there did call her for dropping the bar or not controlling it all the way to the ground. At least that's what I believe the call was. There was a yellow thrown there, so she does need to maintain contact with the bar all the way until it touches the ground.
Mm-hmm. Angela Abreu-Powell, another 10 jump. That's been roughly the standard here. And I'm telling you, a lot of really, really good calls. I, again, don't want to jinx it. I'll just say, look on, again, LiftingCast.com. Go to 2026 USAPL Powerlifting Masters Nationals Day 2 Platform 4. I'm out of breath. But just look at all of the green that's on your screen when you go down to Flight B. Adrienne Lockhart. This is a plus 15, and she is already way out front. That plus 15 is oh so calm and quiet, and it's a easy second where if she wants another 15, I would say, yeah, go ahead and take it. It's probably there. Do you empty the tank on your third deadlift?
Oh, absolutely. More than one time I've bit off more than I could chew.
Uh-huh. And have you ever had the opposite end of the spectrum, I think is the better question, where you say, oh, I hit my third, but that was a little bit too easy. I wanted more.
In the moment, no. Looking back on it, I'm like, I definitely had a little more in the tank. But in the moment, I was like, that was my goal for the meet. So to hit it on the platform easy was like, nothing could have stopped me.
Uh-huh.
I was untouchable in my mind.
Right. The feeling of a super meet, I think, is so intoxicating.
Yes.
That's introducing a new concept here. Super meet being typically the accepted definition is 9 for 9, typically all 27 white lights and 3 competition PRs, right? Yeah. And so you get not only all of your competition PRs, but a total PR. It was just as perfect as you could be based on your own attempts.
Yeah.
Joanne Sansbury on the 125 here. This will up her total to 280. And it would be a 9 for 9 Oh, it caught at the knee. I wonder.
I don't know where she's finding the strength, but I'm so proud of her for keeping it moving.
It paused in so many different spots and just empty with the very last few inches. I mean, 4 or 5 different times that came to a stop. And what did you say about referees? You said they want to give you something like the neighborhood of 5 seconds to grind at one single sticking point?
Yep.
I wish we had the stopwatch on that timer for the entire thing. That's insane. Wow. Longest attempt all day long. We're going to go ahead and just
give it to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crown her champ.
The honorary little trophy. Angela Hobbs on a 125. And she's launching this off the ground. Looks more than good enough for us and everybody else out there. That is a 372.5 kg total for her, sitting in 6th place overall among these Masters 2s. Again, everybody is a 100-plus kg competitor down in the Flight B that we're seeing here. And then we'll wrap up the session when we're done with these pulls. Tammy Straw, 137.5 kg. 2 linear jumps, 7.5 apiece. Typically in the right range. And the momentum that everybody's carrying. There we go. Nice little celebration to add at the end there.
Yes, I love it. I am loving the energy these ladies are bringing, the momentum that they are carrying for these 3rd attempt deadlifts. It's a long day when you're competing. These ladies have probably been up for hours at this point. Probably running low on energy, but somehow they're keeping it going.
Jackie Todd to keep it going with a plus 10. Running the total to 355 keys. Let's see it, and there it is. Oh, are we going to have a celebrity guest appearance from Gino himself? It's funny, when I came into here, that's the first person I expected to see and the first person I was hoping to see. We don't have him on our platform quite yet, like around the camera frame. If we can get him in the camera frame, you'll see, but he is the only one, I'm told, today dressed like a pirate.
He is the powerlifting pirate, so.
Wouldn't it be fascinating if there was somebody else, however, dressed like a pirate just to spite him or totally out of coincidence? Hey, look, a deadlift. Cindy Yeager. Oh,
grinding through.
A plus 12.5. And she got all that pull was worth out of it. Let's see 3 whites just for the effort, please. And thank you.
Yeah. That looked like a good lift to me. I'm so glad she got it.
There's a little bit of survival instinct that kicks in the last couple of seconds of a pull like that. That was one of our longest pulls, though not quite what we saw from Angela. Lynn on 140.
Made it look easy.
You bet.
3 white lights. These ladies are rocking and rolling.
Only a single 9 for 9 so far to this point in the flight was Tammy Straw. You got a chance for another one upcoming after this pull from Valley Sap. It will be Holly Scott. Valerie's 150. Again with a great game face, and she will let out one guttural scream to polish off her day at Nats.
I will say, while we haven't had too many 9 for 9 days, we have had a ton of 3 for 3 days on a deadlift.
Right.
And that is such a fun feeling. You're walking out of here on a high because you finished your competition perfect.
Yes. Nearly all of the misses concentrated, frankly, on this entire platform here, Platform 4, were in bench.
Yes.
Call that what it was. Like, the third bench was tremendously tricky. He had only 4 out of all of Flight B secure that third bench.
Yes.
Holly Scott on the 157.5 for the 9 for 9. The lights light up white, and that's a 395 kg total. Now that podium, of course, is a top 3 finish. She will be outside of that, sitting at 5th place among these 100 pluses. in the Masters 2s. Tamara Guadagnoli puts 157.5 on the bar. And when you load it, you got to own it.
That's our third place finisher. She is a podium national contender.
Lock it in.
Locked in.
Tracy Kogan missed her second squat, got the third, so she's not missing out on any of the total there, and then only missed a 2.5 jump for her last bench. Not perfect best case scenario, but real close here. Plus 10 more kg coming should she lock down this 165 pull. Couple more breaths up at the top. The attempt timer runs. At some point, you just got to pull.
She's fighting.
And then the up and down, and not quite. But if you would have asked me in the first 6 inches off of the ground, we would have said absolutely, right?
Yes. It was a good effort. Popped right up off the floor, and then unfortunately just got stuck. And it happens more than I'd like to admit. That sometimes as you go up, the gravity gets heavier.
Exponentially so. Angela Abreu Powell. A 400-plus pull. It was only right. It's just about time when you get down to the bottom of the flight. What'd I say? That's where all the monsters come out, right?
Absolutely.
Missed this at the Arnold Masters Raw Challenge. That's actually a pretty short turnaround. You're talking 3 months of time or so from the Arnold Sports Fest to now. And it was at this very same 182.5 kg.
So this is redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. And on an even, can you call it a bigger stage? Absolutely we can, because I'm going to. They put me in the driver's seat here, and then they get what they get. A lifetime best is on the bar. And a lifetime best should be in the books. Kaboom.
2-1 good lift. I was very quiet because I was a little unsure. It did look a tiny bit like support to me, but it doesn't matter because she got 2 for 1.
I didn't want to say anything either. I saw the 1 card, and I thought,
a good lift is a good lift.
Yeah, see if I care. Come on. Adrienne Lockhart. You know again that she's going to take a record because you see one of these odd numbers on the bar here. This is, in fact, to best her own pull from Raw Nats of last year at 191 kg. So throw 1 more on for 192. That works for us. And how about we take it home for the session? Already way out ahead. This would be a 479.5 kg total as you've already secured your place. But how about move up 1 place in the history books too? Talk about your PR pulls with room to spare.
There is no better way to finish a session than with a national champion pull. Not only was it a national champion pull, it was a national attempt record.
All of that. All of that. Give me all of it. I want it. And what a treat it was. That is all for the session. Across 2 platforms, we've had 2 flights apiece. We've crowned all these different champions. Your thoughts?
What a wonderful session. There were some really good head-to-head battles. There were some really good fights. There were some amazing national records being set. So to watch all of these women all the way up to the age of 82 perform today has been absolutely phenomenal.
I could not agree more. I'm trying to pick, you can't call it playing favorites, but like, what sticks with you the most? What are you going to take away? Like, Laverne Gray, age of 82, coming out here and popping a bunch of national records, most of her attempts being, within national record range. There's the 9 for 9s that were, not enough to get on the podium, even when some had their absolute best days. And then, like you say, there's 6 or 7 for 9s that win national championships because of that audacity, that belief of those top end, those absolutely maximal or super maximal lifts, a little bit maybe beyond what you thought you had, but a lot of them polished off today. And, I think it was as fantastic a women's session here for the early part of the day as we could ask for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my favorite lift was the 153 bench.
Okay.
That is an insane lift
Absolutely.
for any age, gender, yeah, let alone masters national championship.
Let me tell you something. That's more than I bench on a super meet day.
Yeah.
I would love to bench 153, frankly.
Right. So it's an impressive lift. I think it was my favorite lift of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm looking forward to seeing what these men bring this afternoon.
Yeah, I feel you. Don't forget to turn in this afternoon. It's probably going to be on the same platform, 3 and 4, with yours truly. Again, I'm Tanner White alongside Brandis Napier. But the 100 through 140 plus kgs will be up for the second session of the day. 2 p.m. scheduled start. Just be sure to, refresh your USA Powerlifting feed there on YouTube and look for the specific platform of your lifter. As always, following along on LiftingCast.com. Go to the 2026 USA Powerlifting Masters Nationals Day 2 and then sort it out. We've got a whole lot to look at, but best of luck to you. So I think we'll step away and say thank you once more for joining us for the first session of the day. All your Women's Raw Masters 1s and 2s crowning national champions here from the Westin Lombard in Chicagoland. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.